When the night drifts softly across the ocean, it does not fall in a single hush. It spreads slowly, like a cool breath gliding over waves that have traveled farther than any creature on Earth. The sea darkens in quiet gradients of blue, and somewhere in that vastness, the largest animal ever known exhales a plume of warm mist into the evening air. A blue whale, moving with a calm older than continents, begins its slow descent into the deep, where sound becomes memory and motion becomes music. And tonight, you will drift alongside it. Welcome to sleepy nature sleep, where the wild grows soft and curiosity becomes calm. Tonight, let your thoughts follow the rhythm of the earth, your breathing settle like evening wind, and your mind wander gently through the quiet wild. Here, there is no rush, only water drifting in ancient cycles. Only the heartbeat of the ocean, steady and patient. Only you, settling into the soft blue darkness that has held life for millions of years. If these gentle journeys through the natural world help you unwind, you are always welcome to return, to like, to subscribe, or simply to share a quiet thought with our little community of slow evenings and soft wonders. Every small gesture helps us keep creating peaceful spaces for rest. And if you feel moved to support the channel in deeper ways, know that it allows us to continue exploring the hidden stories of the world, stories whispered by forests, by deserts, by mountains, and tonight, by the deep and ancient sea. So now, breathe in and breathe out slowly. Let the day loosen its grip on you. Let your shoulders soften. Let your mind begin to drift, like a speck of light floating just beneath the surface of a quiet tide. Because this evening, we follow a mystery, a creature so enormous yet so silent, so powerful yet so gentle, that its presence feels almost like a dream the ocean once had and decided never to forget. The blue whale. Its story is not loud. It does not demand attention. It simply continues, pulse by pulse, migration by migration, in a world most humans will never see. And as we begin our journey tonight, let the hush of the ocean gather around you. Let the calm of this ancient giant guide you downward and inward into a stillness as wide as the sea itself. Now rest. The sleepy mystery begins. Before we drift deeper into the blue whale's world, let a single, quiet question rise to the surface. A question soft enough to carry you further into calm, yet deep enough to echo through the whole journey ahead. What does it mean for something so enormous to move through the world in near silence? It is a question the ocean has carried for as long as whales have existed, folded into the long roll of its tides. Humans tend to associate size with noise, power with thunder, scale with speed. But the blue whale does something entirely different. It exists at the outer edge of life's possibilities, yet it moves with a serenity that feels almost otherworldly. Imagine a creature heavier than 30 elephants and longer than a basketball court. And imagine it gliding through the water like a drifting cloud. No frantic motion, no splashing chaos, just a slow, deliberate passage as if the sea itself were choosing to move. That contradiction, vast power expressed as quiet stillness, holds a mystery worth following. And so we begin with the question, how does the largest animal on Earth choose softness as its way of being? Even more, why does the ocean reward slow, gentle motion over force? And deeper still, what might this reveal about the rhythms of life we so often overlook? It's the kind of question that doesn't arrive with urgency. It doesn't demand an answer. It simply asks you to drift alongside it, like a bubble rising through calm water. Tonight, this question becomes the thread of our journey, a guide pulling us through the whale's world, through its migrations and memories, through the landscapes of light and shadow it moves within. As you listen, imagine the ocean spreading around you for miles in every direction, an endless cathedral of blue. Somewhere in that expanse, the whale drifts forward, unhurried, and you drift with it. Maybe, without noticing, your breath has already begun to match the ocean's rhythm. Slow, steady, spacious. The world outside your room becomes distant, softened by the hush of the sea. Your thoughts quiet at the edges, no longer sharp, no longer heavy, just floating, suspended like dust motes in a sunbeam. And from this quiet mental shoreline, you consider the whale's existence, a heart the size of a small motorcycle, beating with astonishing slowness, a mouth that can hold an entire swimming pool of water, used only to filter tiny drifting creatures, a voice that can travel hundreds of miles, yet is spoken sparingly, like a whisper meant only for the deep. Everything about the blue whale suggests a secret harmony, an equation of size and gentleness, scale and silence. And so, the question deepens. What does the ocean teach a creature this large that it chooses calm over chaos? What currents, what histories, what ancient pressures shaped an animal that thrives not by speed or aggression, but by patience and softness? These are the questions beneath the waves. Questions as vast as the sea and as quiet as the whale's passing shadow. Let them linger around you. Let them settle like sand at the bottom of a tide pool. Because as we continue, each chapter will return to this gentle inquiry, leading you deeper into both the whale's world and your own stillness. Before we follow the blue whale into its drifting life, we first need to understand the world it moves through, a world so vast, so layered, so gently alive that even describing it requires a slower breath. Picture the ocean not as a single mass of water, but as a living landscape, stretching downward like a cathedral built of blue light and shadow. Its surface, touched by wind and sunlight, shimmers like the skin of a dreaming planet. Beneath that, the world dims in soft gradients, shifting from turquoise to sapphire to midnight, each layer home to its own quiet universe. This is the whale's country, a country without borders, roads, or cities. A country shaped instead by temperature, pressure, drifting food, and the faint pull of ancient migration routes. Near the top, where sunlight still dances, life gathers in delicate swarms. Tiny fish glint like loose coins tumbling through the water. Clouds of plankton drift as softly as dust in a quiet room. Krill, shimmering, translucent, barely larger than a fingernail, bloom into great red constellations that pulse and scatter as if breathing. To many creatures, this upper world is everything. To the blue whale, it is just the surface of a much deeper story. For the whale, the ocean is not simply a place, it is a layered experience. The sunlit zone, the twilight zone, the dark zone where light fades into memory, the abyss where pressure grows immense and silence becomes a tangible thing. Yet even in these depths, the whale moves with comfort. Its enormous body is shaped by evolution to read the water like a gentle ancient text, sensing temperature shifts, listening to distant echoes, feeling the subtle language of currents brushing along its massive flanks. This fluid world moves in slow patterns. Upwellings bring nutrients toward the surface. Cold currents slide beneath warm ones. Storms far away create ripples that may not reach this place for days. And in this moving, breathing world, the blue whale drifts with a sense of belonging so complete, it might be mistaken for serenity. Imagine yourself floating here with it. Imagine the water holding you effortlessly, its coolness wrapping around your arms, your legs, your chest. You drift, not because you're trying to drift, but because there is nothing else to do, nothing else to prove, nothing else to chase, only motion as gentle as easing into sleep. And as you imagine this, notice how your mind responds. Notice how tension unwinds, how thoughts loosen like knots coming undone under warm hands. The whale's world invites this, invites stillness, invites slowness, invites the kind of rest that is more felt than understood. For millions of years, blue whales have lived in harmony with this immense, shifting landscape. They rise to breathe, they dive to feed. They drift between feeding grounds and breeding grounds, following paths written not on maps, but in their bodies. Paths passed down through time by memory, older than any human story. This landscape, this ocean of slow wonders, holds the key to understanding the whale's quiet power. Here, survival is not a competition of speed or force. Here, life thrives through balance, amplification, and graceful adaptation. Here, even the largest animal ever known becomes a single, soft-moving note in the vast music of water. So breathe with the sea again. Long, slow, steady breaths. Feel yourself drifting into this blue stillness. The landscape before us is ready, and the whale is waiting to guide us deeper. If you could drift beside a blue whale in the open sea, close enough for the water around you to tremble with its presence, the first thing you would feel would not be its size. It would be its heartbeat. A single, slow pulse moving through its colossal body, steady, patient, resonant. A sound so deep, it feels less heard and more experienced, like the ocean itself exhaling. Imagine it now, a heart weighing nearly as much as a small car, beating perhaps once every 5 or 6 seconds, but dumb. And then the quiet returns, stretching out like a small eternity, but dumb. Another soft wave of life rolling outward, rippling through water that has touched continents. For a creature this vast, the calm rhythm is not a weakness, but a perfect adaptation. The whale's gigantic heart moves slowly, because it must, because patience is the architecture that keeps an animal of such scale alive. This slowness is its strength. It's strange for us, isn't it? Humans often equate importance with urgency, value with speed. But here, in the whale's world, nothing needs to be rushed. Each heartbeat is a quiet announcement. I am here, and that is enough. Picture the whale gliding beneath you. Its silhouette moves with the smooth certainty of a drifting mountain. Every movement is deliberate, not heavy, not hurried, simply necessary. Even the motion of its massive flukes seems more like the turning of a tide than the effort of a muscle. If the whale were to speed up, force itself against the water, or push beyond its natural rhythm, it wouldn't survive. Its size demands serenity. Its body thrives on restraint. Its heartbeat teaches a lesson in stillness that the frantic world above the waves often forgets. Now imagine the water gently pressing against your ears, Everything is muted, every sound is softened, and beneath that quiet, you begin to sense the pulse again, slow, grounding, ancient. A pulse that has guided blue whales across oceans for longer than our species has existed. The whale's heart pumps nearly 10 tons of blood through its enormous frame, circulating warmth through the cold sea, fueling migration journeys that span thousands of miles. Yet its rhythm remains unbroken, never panicked, never rushed. Scientists studying these giants often describe their heartbeat with awe. The pause between thumps is long enough to make a person wonder if the heart has stopped entirely, until suddenly, the next beat reverberates like a gentle drum in the deep. Ba-dum. A reminder that life does not need to move quickly to be powerful. A reminder that greatness can exist in quiet forms. A reminder that the most extraordinary forces in nature often move at the pace of rest. If you place your attention on your own chest now, you may notice your breathing slowing, your pulse softening in response. This is the magic of the whale's rhythm. It invites you into its calm, not by command, but by companionship, by simply existing in a way that encourages the world around it to soften too. Tonight, as we follow the blue whale farther into its secret life, let this heartbeat become your anchor. Let it steady your thoughts. Let it loosen the tight places in your body. Let it guide you into the slower, deeper currents beneath your day. In the quiet of the ocean, the heartbeat of a giant continues, and with each slow pulse, the journey grows more tranquil. Before the blue whale became the drifting giant we know today, before its songs echoed through miles of water, before its massive heart beat its first slow rhythm, it belonged to a lineage far stranger and older than most imagine. To understand the whale's present calm, we gently step backward, not by decades or centuries, but by millions of years. Picture a world where creatures that would one day become whales did not swim, but walked. They lived along ancient coastlines, slipping between rivers and shallow seas. Their bodies looked nothing like the elegant giants of today. They were shaped more like wolf-sized mammals with hooves, curious and cautious, their lives tied to the tide. Scientists believe one early ancestor, Pachycetus, may have looked like a fox dipped into water, unsure whether it truly belonged there. Yet something in the sea called to it, perhaps food, perhaps safety, perhaps the promise of a new world. And over countless generations, this call pulled these creatures deeper. Slowly, their legs lengthened and transformed. Their hearing adapted to a world where sound carries differently. Their noses slid up their skulls, eventually migrating to the crown of the head to become the blowhole. Their bodies stretched, streamlined, softened into shapes meant not for land, but for the endless blue. It did not happen with urgency. Nature seldom rushes. The transition from land-dwelling mammal to ocean giant unfolded over more than 50 million years, a slow, wondrous commitment to transformation. And through this immense span of time, a new way of being emerged, a life lived in rhythm with water. Imagine those early ancestors stepping into deeper seas for the first time, their feet no longer finding ground, their limbs beginning to paddle, their bodies discovering buoyancy, discovering that in the ocean, even weight has a way of softening. With every generation, they drifted further from the shore, until eventually, the land became only a distant memory in their bones. What began as tentative exploration became destiny, and destiny grew immense. From early semi-aquatic mammals came protocetids, then basilosaurids, eel-like whales swimming fully in the water, already echoing the graceful forms we know today. Their bodies lengthened. Their swimming became smoother. Their internal organs adapted to hold breath and navigate the deep. And then, in time, the baleen whales emerged, gentle filter feeders, capable of immense size not because they hunted fiercely, but because they learned to feast on the smallest drifting life in the sea. This lineage leads directly to the blue whale, a creature whose enormous body and soft behavior tell the quiet story of millions of years of adaptation. Evolution shaped it not for violence, but for efficiency, not for speed, but for endurance, not for chaos, but for calm. A body this large could not thrive if it fought the ocean. It had to learn to move with it. Tonight, as you imagine the whale gliding through the water, let yourself feel the weight of that ancient history, not as heaviness, but as depth. Depth of time, depth of change, depth of patience. The whale is not simply an animal. It is a 50-million-year-old meditation on slowness, resilience, and quiet survival. In its calm, you can feel the echoes of every ancestor that stepped deeper into the sea, trusting the water to hold them. And as you breathe with the whale now, you may sense a strange comfort. Life's greatest transformations often begin with small, uncertain steps, just like theirs. If the ocean is a vast and drifting world, then migration is the whale's quiet thread through it, a road without pavement, traced not by landmarks but by memory, temperature, and ancient instinct. For blue whales, migration is not a hurried journey from one place to another. It is a long, graceful arc through the seasons, unfolding with the pace of a slow-moving dream. Imagine the whale now, suspended just beneath the water's surface. The ocean stretches around it in every direction, wide, blue, borderless. There's no visible path, no fixed point on the horizon. And yet, the whale knows exactly where to go. Each year, blue whales travel thousands of miles between feeding grounds in colder waters and breeding grounds in warmer ones. These migrations are not random wanderings. They follow patterns older than human memory, patterns whispered into the whale's bones, shaped by temperature, prey, and the turning of the earth itself. To us, the ocean might appear featureless, but to the whale, it is full of signposts, the cool bite of subpolar water signaling rich krill ahead, the warm drift of equatorial currents hinting at calmer seas for raising a calf, the deep rumble of distant underwater formations guiding its path, the faint chemical signature of familiar waters returning after months away. Migration is less a journey and more a conversation, a silent dialogue between a giant and its world. And like all gentle conversations, it takes time. Blue whales do not rush south or sprint north. They move with deliberate slowness, matching their pace to the rhythms of feeding and resting. Some days they travel many miles. Other days, they drift with the currents, conserving energy, letting the water do the work. If you picture the whale moving across the world map, the line it draws would not be sharp or rigid. It would look more like a ribbon carried by the wind, flowing, bending, unhurried. As night falls on the ocean, moonlight slips across the whale's back. Its body, as long as a city bus, glides silently beneath the shimmering surface. Every few minutes, it rises to breathe, the quiet world broken only by a soft plume of mist lifting into the cool air. You can imagine yourself drifting beside it, carried by the same invisible forces. The migration becomes not just a whale's journey, but a metaphor for your own slow passage through time. In migration, the whale teaches you that movement does not need urgency, that progress can be measured in steady, gentle steps, that the path forward can be felt, not forced, that there is a difference between drifting without direction and drifting with trust. Migration is trust, embodied. Trust in the water, trust in memory, trust in instincts shaped across millions of years. Trust that even without seeing the destination, the body knows when it is time to move, when it is time to feed, when it is time to rest. Tonight, as you listen, consider your own migrations, the seasons of your life when you've moved, not because you saw the end clearly, but because something within you recognized the next direction. That quiet knowing mirrors the whale's ancient path. And now, as the blue whale continues its long southward journey, its enormous tail rises, falls, and disappears into the calm water, a single slow gesture marking the continuation of a story told across thousands of miles. A story the whale has always known how to follow. If the blue whale is a wonder of scale, then the krill it feeds on are wonders of simplicity, tiny, drifting creatures, no bigger than a fingertip. And yet, the relationship between the largest animal on Earth and these nearly weightless specks is one of the ocean's most poetic contrasts. Imagine the sea not as empty space, but as a slow snowfall of life. Billions of krill drift in soft clouds, moving with currents that turn them, scatter them, pull them together again like constellations forming and dissolving in the sky. Their bodies glow faintly in the right light, translucent, delicate, shimmering with hints of orange and pink. They are the ocean's faintest feast, the quiet foundation upon which giants survive. To most eyes, a cloud of krill looks like nothing more than suspended dust. But to a blue whale, it is abundance. It is nourishment waiting patiently in the water. It is a reminder that even the smallest life has the power to shape the largest. Picture the whale now, descending slowly into one of these drifting blooms. Its massive jaws open just slightly. Water floods in, tons of it, spiraling past baleen plates that hang like soft curtains from the roof of its mouth. The whale does not bite, does not tear, does not chase. It gathers, it sifts, it waits. Then, with a motion as graceful as the closing of a book, the whale presses its tongue against the baleen, pushing the water out while holding the krill inside. A meal achieved not by force, but by calm precision. For a creature so large, this feeding style feels almost tender. There is no violence in it, no urgency, just a rhythm. Dive, feed, rise, breathe, dive again. And the krill, they continue drifting, multiplying, shimmering, the quiet architects of the whale's survival. If you were to drift beside the whale during one of these feeding moments, you would see krill swirl around you like glowing embers suspended in blue twilight. Their tiny limbs paddle with soft determination, unaware that they are part of something so immense and ancient. This balance between giant and speck is one of nature's gentlest paradoxes. It reminds us that power and nourishment do not always come from equal sizes, that greatness can depend on smallness, that lives can be interconnected in ways almost too delicate to imagine. The whale's feeding is also a lesson in presence. It cannot rush. Krill blooms appear and disappear unpredictably, shaped by temperature, sunlight, and currents. Some days, food is abundant. Some days, it is sparse. And the whale accepts this, moving through the ocean with patient awareness, never forcing the sea to give what it is not ready to offer. In this patience lies its strength. And as you listen, perhaps there is a quiet reflection in this rhythm for your own life. The idea that not every moment requires striving, that nourishment sometimes arrives in its own time, that drifting is not the same as being lost. The whale teaches that survival can be gentle, that feeding can be a dance rather than a chase, that something as small as krill can support something as magnificent as a blue whale. The faintest feast becomes a reminder. Little things matter, often more than we realize. And now, as the whale closes its enormous mouth and rises toward the surface for a breath, the krill drift behind it like a soft curtain, glowing quietly in the deep places of the ocean where sunlight fades into memory and sound becomes the most reliable sense. The blue whale's voice drifts through the water like a slow, resonant pulse. It is a sound so low and so powerful that it can travel across entire ocean basins, passing through darkness, pressure, and distance with astonishing ease. And yet, for all its strength, the whale's voice does not feel loud. It feels deep, deep in a way that seems to settle somewhere inside you, as though the sound is not arriving from the outside, but awakening from within. Imagine floating in the mid-water twilight, where the last threads of sunlight dissolve and a calm blue shadow fills the world. You cannot see far, perhaps only a few dozen meters, but you can hear. The ocean becomes a vast, echoing chamber. In that stillness, a low call begins, a long, slow moan that trembles through the water, a pulse that vibrates in your ribs, a hum that seems to blur the boundary between your body and the sea. This is the blue whale's language. It isn't frantic or complicated. Each call is simple, deliberate, carrying meaning not through words, but through resonance, pitch, rhythm, and patience. Some calls may travel more than 500 miles. A single note may linger in the water for minutes after it is produced, bouncing gently along underwater ridges, sliding through currents, and drifting into the awareness of whales far, far away. The blue whale's voice is communication and navigation, song and beacon, inquiry and reply. To us, the sound is haunting. To whales, it is companionship. Picture the ocean at night. You cannot see the whale that sings, nor the one that listens. But between them, a thread of sound connects their worlds, a thread woven from low-frequency waves that roll gently across the deep. Perhaps a whale calls out to locate a mate. Perhaps it is checking the presence of others along a migration route. Perhaps it is simply expressing its existence. I am here. You are not alone in the vastness. Listening to these calls, scientists often describe them as emotional, not because whales feel emotion the way we do, but because their voices carry weight, softness, longing, intention. Each call feels like a slow breath extended across miles of water. In a way, their songs resemble the rhythm of sleep, long, drawn out, steady, a tone repeated, not rushed, not compressed, a soothing pattern that invites the body to relax. Humans who listen to whale songs often report a spontaneous calm settling over them. Their breathing slows, their thoughts untangle, their muscles release. Sound in water is touch. It wraps around you. It enters gently and stays longer than you expect. Here in the quiet, you can imagine the whale's voice like a lullaby, sung not for comfort, but for connection. the darkness no longer feels empty. It feels inhabited, filled with soft pulses of presence moving through the deep. And as you drift in this imagined world, you might sense your own inner landscape responding. Your breathing adopts the cadence of those long calls. Your mind begins to settle into slower waves. Your body feels heavier, as if sinking into warm water. The whale sings again, a deep, rolling note that lingers longer than the last. And somewhere in that lingering, you feel yourself letting go just a little bit more. There is a place in the ocean where day never fully arrives, and night never fully claims its darkness. It is a world suspended between light and shadow, where colors fade into hushed hues and shapes drift like dreams. Marine biologists call it the twilight zone, the dim middle layer of the sea. But for the blue whale, it is simply home. Imagine floating here beside the whale. The sunlight above has softened into silvery streaks, faint and trembling as they filter through hundreds of feet of water. The surface world still exists, but only as memory, a blurred shimmer far above your head. Below, the deep ocean waits in stillness, dark and vast, as if holding its breath. In this in-between realm, vision becomes secondary. The blue whale does not rely on sight to navigate. Instead, it listens, it feels, it senses the pressure of water against its skin, the subtle temperature gradients, the distant echoes of sound bouncing off underwater mountains. You can picture its immense eye, small in proportion to its size, soft and gentle, glancing into this muted world. What does it see? Perhaps only shapes, shadows, movement. But it does not need more. In the twilight, life isn't defined by clarity. It is defined by presence. Tiny organisms drift around you like floating dust motes illuminated by a lantern. Some glow faintly with bioluminescence, leaving soft trails of blue-green light. Others pulse slowly, expanding and contracting as if breathing with the rhythm of the sea. To us, this world might seem eerie. To the whale, it is peaceful. Here, the water cradles its giant body with constant, steady support. There is no gravity to wrestle with, no land to resist, no obstacles to avoid. Movement becomes effortless. Every slow beat of its flukes sends the whale gliding forward in a smooth arc, like a drifting planet following its orbital path. As the whale passes through this realm, the water around it behaves differently. Sound travels farther. Light fades more quickly. Life slows down. Many creatures migrate vertically through this zone each day, rising toward the surface at night to feed and sinking back down at dawn. But the blue whale moves horizontally, following the great roads of the ocean, migration paths that slice across continents and connect entire ecosystems. Drifting beside it, you may begin to feel a similar quiet settle into your own thoughts. The twilight zone has a way of softening the mind, blurring the sharp edges of worry, loosening the tightness of the day. It invites a kind of mental twilight, that gentle, drifting space between wakefulness and sleep. In this half-light, the whale's silhouette becomes a soft shape gliding through dim water. Sometimes it fades completely from view, only to reappear several moments later in a different patch of blue. Its presence is felt more than seen, a companionship of movement, breath, and quiet intention. Life here does not rush. It unfolds like layers of mist drifting across a valley. Everything is slower. Everything is hushed. The whale turns slightly, adjusting its path with infinite grace. A trail of bioluminescent sparks swirls behind it, glowing for a moment, then fading back into shadow. You float with it, weightless, unhurried, suspended in a world where time moves like water. And as you drift deeper into this blue twilight, your body relaxes, your breathing softens, and something inside you yields to stillness. The ocean, the whale, and the quiet between them invite you further into calm, into depth, into rest. Every creature that breathes air must eventually return to the surface, and for the blue whale, this ascent is a ritual, slow, deliberate, and ancient. In the deep twilight below, the world feels suspended, muted, weightless. But above, just beyond the dim veil of water, a different realm awaits, the realm of light, air, and sky. Imagine you are drifting beside the whale as it begins this gentle rise. The water around you brightens by degrees, first subtly, then more clearly. A soft glow filters downward, touching the whale's massive back like a quiet blessing. You feel the shift in the water's temperature, the thinning of darkness, the faint shimmer of the world above growing closer. The whale ascends with unhurried intention. It does not rush. Its immense body glides upward in a graceful arc, propelled by slow, powerful movements of its tail. Each stroke is a sentence, long and steady, written into the ocean with calm precision. And then, at last, the surface appears, a wavering silver sheet, trembling with ripples and reflections. The whale rises beneath it, a gentle giant approaching the border between the deep and the open sky. Breaking the surface is a moment both practical and poetic. First, the whale's blowhole pierces the air. A sudden exhale erupts, a tall, misty plume that shoots upward like a fountain of breath illuminated by the sun. For a brief moment, the world hears the whale, a warm, gusting sigh that carries the weight of a long dive and the promise of another. This plume can rise nearly 30 feet into the air, but the sound is not violent. It is cleansing, a release, a letting go. Then comes the inhale, a deep, resonant pulling of air into vast lungs, the largest lungs of any creature known. The breath is calm, steady, assured, the kind of breath that reminds you, without words, that inhalation is a gift and exhalation is a freedom. As the whale floats there, buoyed by the surface water, the world around it expands. Waves shimmer with reflected sky. Seabirds trace gentle arcs overhead. The horizon stretches out like a soft line between blue and deeper blue. And for a moment, the whale rests. Humans often think of the whale's breaching and spouting as dramatic behavior, but most of its surfacings are serene, moments of pause where the body resets itself. A quiet inhale, a quiet exhale, a stillness held between dives. If you were here with the whale, your face would break the surface beside its massive back. You would feel the warmth of sunlight on your eyelids. You would hear the soft murmur of waves lapping against the whale's skin. The air would taste like salt and sky. This gentle meeting of two worlds, the deep and the open, is one of the whale's most tender rituals. It connects the darkness below with the brightness above, the mystery of the ocean with the clarity of the air. It is both a necessity and a moment of grace. And as the whale prepares to dive again, it lifts its tail slowly, almost ceremonially. The flukes rise from the surface in a broad, curved sweep, letting water fall from them like liquid silver. Then, with a calm, decisive motion, it sinks once more into the depths. Standing at the surface or floating beside the whale, you may feel a growing stillness in yourself too. A recognition that breathing, this simple, constant exchange, is its own form of belonging. The surface is where light returns, and the whale reminds you that you too can rise, breathe, and begin again. When night settles over the ocean, it does not fall like a curtain. It seeps gently into the world, darkening the blue one breath at a time, softening edges, quieting movements, deepening the calm that already lives beneath the waves. For the blue whale, night is not a time of fear or hiding. It is a time of drifting. Imagine the surface now touched by dusk. The last warm streaks of sunlight fade into muted gold, then blue, then something deeper. The sky becomes a wide, dark bowl sprinkled with early stars, and the whale, resting just beneath the waterline, feels the shift before any human eyes perceive it. The cooling air, the easing wind, the quiet hush that spreads across the sea like a lullaby. The ocean at night is one of Earth's great, gentle mysteries. Waves flatten, as if tired from a day of wandering. Currents slow their restless motions. The world becomes more horizontal, more peaceful, more deliberate. And beneath this settling surface, bioluminescent organisms begin to glow. Tiny sparks of blue-green light flicker like drifting embers. Plankton swirl in slow spirals, illuminating the water with delicate traces of living fire. Each movement, the sway of the whale's tail, the turning of its body, creates ripples that ignite like soft galaxies beneath the sea. To drift here is to float through a sky turned upside down, where stars fall instead of rise. The whale moves through this glowing quiet with almost unreal grace. When it swims, the light follows. When it stills, the universe dims again. For a creature so large, its relationship with the night is surprisingly gentle, as if the darkness itself grows calm in its presence. And with the night comes sound. During daylight, the ocean holds many voices: the chatter of smaller fish, the crackle of distant reefs, the shifting of waves. But at night, those noises soften. The world becomes more hushed, more resonant. Sounds that were once buried in daylight now travel farther, deeper, undisturbed. This is when the blue whale often sings. Its low-frequency calls vibrate through the water with extraordinary reach. A long rumble, a deep moan, a tremor that drifts through the dark like a steady beacon. Sometimes another whale responds, perhaps miles away, perhaps just beyond sight. Their voices merge into a slow, rhythmic conversation. A call, a reply, a silence. A connection felt more than heard. Floating beside the whale, you would feel these sounds in your body, not as noise, but as a presence. A deep, calming vibration echoing through your chest, through your ribs, through the quiet space inside your mind. It is almost like being held by a sound. Nighttime changes everything. Colors fade into a palette of deep blues and gentle blacks. Movements slow into an underwater lull. Even massive creatures seem to drift more softly, as if respecting the hushed world around them. You may notice a similar shift happening inside you. Your breath grows longer. Your thoughts grow dimmer at the edges, like shorelines disappearing under deepening tide. The day's noise, the obligations, worries, busy currents begins to settle. In the silence of the ocean's night, the whale descends again, slipping beneath the glowing surface with a calm that invites you to follow, not with your body, but with your breath, your awareness. your drifting mind. As it disappears into the deep, the bioluminescent glow fades behind it. The surface stills. The sky reflects itself on the water. Night has fully descended across the open sea, and the journey grows quieter still. Long before maps, long before compasses, long before humans imagined lines across the sea, the ocean already held its own memory. It flowed through the world in great, looping paths, currents shaped by wind, temperature, Earth's rotation, and seasons so ancient they existed before the first whale ever took a breath. These currents are not merely movements of water. They are rivers within the sea, carrying stories, nutrients, warmth, and whispers across entire oceans. To travel with a blue whale is to travel with these memories. Imagine drifting beside the whale as it glides into a current that feels subtly different from the water around it. The temperature shifts by a fraction of a degree, barely noticeable to us, but deeply meaningful to the whale. The current presses gently against its massive body, like a guiding hand. Instinct awakens. Somewhere deep inside, something says, "Follow this." Currents do not rush the whale. They welcome it. Some carry food-rich waters upward, bringing with them the drifting krill that sustain life. Others sweep warm layers across colder seas, signaling the approaching territories where calves are born. Still others flow like slow, ancient highways, helping the whale conserve energy on journeys that stretch thousands of miles. Imagine each current as a chapter in a book that never stops being written. The California current, cold, nutrient-rich, feeds entire ecosystems. The Antarctic circumpolar current, the largest on Earth, encircles a continent in endless rotation. The North Pacific gyre moves in enormous spirals, drifting like the turning of a planet. And the whale knows these waters, knows them without thinking, the way a tree knows how to grow toward the sun. We often speak of memory as something held in the mind, images, ideas, stories. But the whale's memory lives in its body, in its senses, in instincts passed from generation to generation, long before written language existed. A calf born in warm, clear waters will one day travel to cold feeding grounds, retracing a route it has never taken before. It follows the touch of water against its skin, the faint chemical signatures of familiar sea regions, the distant echoes of underwater terrain. It follows currents that remember for it. There is something comforting in this idea that the world carries memory too. Humans often feel alone in their searching, struggling to find direction, wondering which way to move next. But the ocean reminds us that existence is not always about forging new paths. Sometimes it is about resting within old ones, paths carved long before we arrived, shaped by forces vast enough to hold us gently. Drifting with the whale, you feel how the current lifts and guides. You do not need to swim hard. You do not need to decide the direction. You simply surrender, letting the water carry you as it carries everything else: kelp, krill, moonlight, entire migrations. In this moment, there is no urgency, only flow. The whale's enormous body tilts slightly, aligning with the current. Its movements soften even more. You sense, somehow, that this is the part of its life that feels effortless, not feeding, not singing, not navigating, but trusting. Trusting the memory of water, trusting the path beneath its body, trusting that the world, in its quiet wisdom, will guide it where it needs to go. As you breathe slowly, matching the rhythm of the whale's ascent and descent, you may feel a similar trust settling inside you, a sense that not every moment requires direction, that sometimes the current knows the way. And tonight, as the ocean carries the whale onward, it carries you too, gently, steadily, like a memory that has always been flowing. If you watch a blue whale feed, you will see one of nature's quietest miracles, a creature the size of an airliner moving with the gentleness of drifting silk. Feeding is not frantic for the whale. It is a rhythm, a meditation, a cycle of gathering, sifting, and gliding that transforms the deepest hunger into the softest choreography. Imagine the whale descending now, slipping into a cool layer of water where krill pulse in gentle clouds. The light here is dim, flickering like the last glow of evening. Krill drift in swarms, tiny shimmering sparks suspended in the blue like a constellation scattered through the sea. The whale turns its immense head slightly. A slow inhale, a widening of the jaw, and then the lunge. It is a motion both powerful and peaceful, an enormous mouth opening to take in a vast rush of water, sometimes more than the whale's own body weight. This is one of the largest biomechanical actions any animal performs. Yet the whale does it with such grace that the word lunge feels almost too harsh. It is more like a sweeping embrace. Water floods in, tons of it, carried on the whale's momentum, curling through its mouth as the krill are swept inward like drifting sparks. Then comes the stillness. The whale pauses, jaw closing slowly. The water is pressed against long, broom-like baleen plates that hang from the upper jaw. These plates filter out the krill, allowing water to flow back into the sea in a smooth exhale. This is the rhythm: open, gather, close, release, glide. Again and again, the whale repeats it, not with urgency, but with the patience of a creature that trusts the sea to provide what it needs. The whale's feeding is not a hunt. There is no chase, no violence, no tension. Instead, it is an invitation to stillness, a reminder that nourishment can be soft. As you drift beside the whale, you might notice how each movement inspires a corresponding quietness within yourself. The whale opens its jaws with deliberate calm, and your shoulders loosen. It releases filtered water, and your exhale deepens. It glides forward, and your thoughts drift, unspooled from their knots. This is the hypnotic power of slow motion. Even the krill, though small, are part of this serene ritual. They drift in blooms shaped by currents, gathering where the sea has stirred nutrients upward from the deep. Their existence seems fragile, yet they support the largest creature to ever live. There is a tender lesson in that greatness often rests upon the smallest foundations, that cycles of life do not depend on force, but on balance. That abundance is not always loud. Imagine the whale diving deeper into a thick cloud of krill, its massive silhouette illuminated by soft bioluminescent flickers from below. It opens its mouth once more, sweeping gently through the swarm. The krill respond not with panic, but with drifting motion, the sea absorbing everything into its slow breathing cadence. After several feeding lunges, the whale turns upward. Its body arcs gracefully. Its flukes rise and fall with a steady rhythmic beat. It heads to the surface for air, carrying thousands of krill in its vast belly, fuel for the next quiet miles of its migration. And as the whale ascends, you feel the rhythm within yourself, the gathering of breath, the release of tension, the gliding into stillness. Feeding, for the whale, is not a moment of frenzy. It is a sustained, ancient lullaby written into the water. And tonight, it sings to you too. To understand the blue whale's gentle presence, you must first understand the quiet brilliance of its body, an elegant design shaped by millions of years of slow, deliberate evolution. Every curve, every muscle, every adaptation exists not for speed or aggression, but for an extraordinary balance of power and calm. Imagine drifting alongside the whale now. Its silhouette stretches before you like a moving coastline, long, smooth, unbroken. Its skin, mottled with shades of gray and blue, resembles the surface of weathered stone softened by time. Light catches the tiny ridges and scars across its body, each marking a chapter in its life's long journey. And yet, despite this immense physical presence, nothing about the whale feels heavy. It moves as if weightless. This graceful ease begins with its shape, a perfectly streamlined form that slips through the water with minimal resistance. Unlike fish, whose bodies were built for agility, the whale's form was crafted by the demands of open water endurance. It is long not for speed, but for efficiency. Wide not for intimidation, but for stability. Now consider its muscles, layered bands of strength hidden beneath soft skin, each working in slow synchrony. These muscles do not strain, they do not tremble. They pulse with deliberate rhythm, powering migrations that span entire hemispheres. Even the whale's tail, its great sweeping flukes, reflects this philosophy of strength through calm. When it moves, the push is broad and even, sending the whale forward with a momentum that lasts long after the stroke has ended. A single downward beat of the tail can carry this giant many meters through the water. The whale's power is not explosive. It is sustained, like a deep breath held in serenity. Inside this enormous body rests one of the largest hearts ever known, slow beating, steady, patient. Each contraction pumps life through the whale's system, carrying oxygen to muscles that prefer ease over urgency. A heart this slow is only possible in a creature that has mastered the art of conserving energy, and it does so perfectly. Even its bones are built for calm. Long, gently curved ribs create a flexible frame that can withstand the crushing pressures of deep water. The whale can dive hundreds of meters without harm, its bones bending instead of breaking, its lungs collapsing safely instead of resisting. Perhaps most poetic of all is the whale's skin, thick yet sensitive, able to detect subtle changes in water pressure, temperature, and movement. This sensitivity allows the whale to feel the ocean's whispers, a distant current, an approaching school of krill, the presence of another whale miles away. It is a body tuned to the world, not imposed upon it. And as you float near this moving giant, the water pushing gently against your skin, you may notice your own body responding. Your muscles soften, mirroring the whale's relaxed strength. Your breathing slows, matching the rhythm of its calm ascent and descent. Even your thoughts stretch out, less hurried, less rigid. The whale teaches through presence, not loud, not overt, but steady. Its body is a reminder that power does not need to be loud to be real, that strength can exist in softness, that movement can be graceful even when enormous. As the whale glides forward, its shadow drifts beneath you, vast, gentle, ancient. You sense in it a wisdom belonging not to individuals, but to nature itself, a body built not to conquer the ocean, but to belong to it. And tonight, As you follow this massive yet peaceful form through the blue, your own body finds a little more stillness, a little more ease, a little more room for calm. The deeper the whale travels, the more the ocean reshapes itself into something quiet, vast, and beautifully unfamiliar. Down here, the sea is not simply a body of water. It becomes a cathedral of pressure and shadow, carved not from stone but from depth itself. And in this place, the blue whale moves with a calm that seems almost sacred. Imagine descending with the whale now, leaving behind the brighter layers of the surface world. The light fades slowly at first, like a lantern carried away down a long hallway. Blue deepens to indigo. Indigo dissolves into twilight, and twilight becomes a soft, velvety dark. The deep ocean is not empty. It is shaped by invisible forces that sculpt vast, fluid landscapes. There are underwater mountains, jagged ridges rising thousands of feet from the sea floor. There are canyons deeper than the Grand Canyon, filled with drifting clouds of life. There are wide plateaus where currents flatten and swirl like slow-moving wind across a plain. There are thermal layers, strips of warm and cold water stacked like the pages of an untold story. The whale senses all of this without seeing it. Its body reads the deep like fingertips grazing textured paper. Pressure increases with every meter of descent, yet the whale welcomes it. Its flexible ribs fold inwards, its lungs compress safely, its body becomes streamlined under the weight of millions of gallons of water above. Nothing resists. Everything softens into harmony with the depth. And as the whale moves through these layered geometries, the world shifts around it. Small lights appear, pinpoints of blue, green, and pale white. Bioluminescent creatures drift like lanterns in an underwater night. Jellies pulse slowly, their translucent bodies glowing with soft internal fire. Some fish carry delicate lights beneath their eyes, glowing like tiny street lamps guiding them through the dark. In this glowing quiet, the whale seems to become part of the landscape itself, a gentle ridge of movement drifting between mountains of shadow. There is no rushing here, no sudden movements. Everything flows at the tempo of deep time, measured not by minutes, but by breaths, migrations, and ancient instinct. The whale glides along an underwater escarpment, its presence sending gentle spirals of water outward across the rocks. It may not see the shapes in detail, but it senses them. The rising swell of a seamount, the carved trough of a canyon, the thickening of cold water near the abyss. To the whale, these features are not obstacles. They are part of the ocean's soft geometry. They shape sound. They shape current. They shape the paths whales have taken for thousands of generations. And drifting beside the whale, you might begin to sense something similar stirring in your mind. A recognition that some landscapes are felt rather than seen, that the world is full of quiet structures guiding us, even when we do not realize it. The depth, whether of water or of thought, has its own gentle architecture. The deeper the whale travels, the quieter everything becomes. Even sound feels softened, stretched out, wrapped in layers of darkness that cradle every vibration. You feel this too, your thoughts becoming rounder, your breathing deeper, your awareness floating gently between wakefulness and rest. The deep is not a frightening place. It is a place of calm. A place where the world slows down enough for you to hear your own quiet again. And the whale, a drifting shape of ancient blue, continues forward, not lost, not searching, simply belonging to this vast, soft geometry carved by time and tide. Among all the gentle stories the ocean carries, few are as tender as the bond between a blue whale mother and her calf. In a world without walls, without nests, without shelters, the mother becomes the calf's entire universe, its warmth, its guidance, its shield, and its first, soft blueprint for how to move through the sea. Imagine now a newborn calf resting beneath its mother's great shadow. It is already enormous by human standards, perhaps 20 feet long, weighing as much as a large truck. But beside its mother, it seems small, delicate, and impossibly new. Its skin is lighter, softer, unscarred by time. Its movements are clumsy yet earnest, like slow-motion echoes of what it will one day become. The ocean might seem too vast, too deep, too unpredictable for something so young, but the calf is never alone. The mother drifts close, her body forming a living barrier against currents and predators. She adjusts her position with infinite gentleness, tilting slightly to let the calf tuck beneath her, arching her massive back to create a corridor of calm water. Every motion she makes shapes the world the calf experiences, and the calf follows her, not by force, not by commands, but by instinct woven through the species for millions of years. Each day, the calf drinks up to 50 gallons of its mother's milk, rich, warm, and incredibly nourishing. It grows rapidly, gaining weight at astonishing rates, fueled by the quiet labor of its mother, who must feed often to sustain them both. Picture the calf swimming now, its small flukes beating in earnest bursts of energy. It rises with effort, breaths coming in quick puffs. Its mother rises beside it, her exhale a tall plume of mist. The two breaths overlap, the tiny and the massive, forming a duet of life on the open sea. Because whales cannot live still lives, the mother must guide the calf through long journeys. Slowly, patiently, she teaches it the essential rhythms: how to rise for air before the lungs ache, how to dive without panic, how to conserve energy by gliding with currents, how to listen to distant echoes, sensing the shapes of the world through sound. Most of all, she teaches it slowness. A newborn calf has no reason to hurry. Its safety lies in staying close. Its learning comes through stillness and mimicry. Its world is defined by the steady presence of a mother who knows the ocean intimately and moves through it with great, quiet assurance. Sometimes, other female whales, allomothers, as scientists call them, join in the gentle watch. They are not related to the calf, yet they offer protection, swimming nearby, keeping distance from potential danger. The ocean, despite its vastness, has its own forms of community care. Under moonlight, the pair moves as one silhouette. Under daylight, their bodies shimmer like drifting mountains of blue and silver. When the calf tires, it rests against its mother's side, lifted by her buoyancy, rocked by her slow, rhythmic motion. There is a calm trust in this closeness, a trust that says, "You are safe. You can grow at your own pace. You do not need to rush into the world. I am here." And perhaps, as you breathe alongside this gentle scene, you feel an echo of the same reassurance, a reminder that tenderness exists even in vast places, that growth comes through patience, that someone, somewhere, once guided you with quiet care, or that you, too, have guided another. The whale drifts onward, its calf tucked closely by its side. Their journey continues in slow, comforting arcs through the blue. Tonight, the ocean holds them gently, and it holds you too. In the deep ocean, where darkness stretches unbroken and distances feel almost infinite, communication takes on a different shape. There are no bright colors to signal with, no branches to rustle, no air to carry scent. Instead, sound becomes the language of survival, companionship, and presence. And no creature speaks this language more powerfully or more patiently than the blue whale. Imagine the whale now, suspended in the dim blue, resting between breaths. Then, a shift inside its massive body, a gathering of intention, a slow shaping of its internal resonant chambers, and finally, a sound, low, so low that human ears cannot detect it without special equipment. A note that feels less like a noise and more like a tremor, an underwater heartbeat stretching outward across the vastness. The whale's call travels not meters, not hundreds of meters, but tens or even hundreds of miles, passing through thermoclines, bending around underwater ridges, following the physics of the deep. Imagine a note so powerful that it can cross an ocean basin, yet so gentle that it does not disturb the water around you. That is the blue whale's song. It is not a melody in the human sense. It is a sequence of pulses, moans, and long-held tones that rise and fall in patterns shaped by instinct and tradition. Some calls repeat. Others stretch into long, trembling hums. Some are simple, others complex. Each conveys information. I am here. I am moving. I am ready to mate. Where are you? Yet beneath the biological purpose, something else exists, a quality that feels emotional, ancient, and strangely familiar. Picture another whale far away, perhaps 100 miles distant, resting in its own quiet patch of ocean. The first whale's call reaches it, vibrating through its bones. A moment of stillness. Then, an answering call thrums back through the water. A conversation has begun. Slow, sparse, profound. Scientists believe blue whales may time their calls to cavern-like underwater features, using ridges and slopes to amplify their voices. Some whales may even recognize each other across distances by the subtle signatures in their calls. These exchanges can last minutes or hours, unhurried dialogues carried by the patient architecture of the sea. To float here beside them is to feel the ocean itself become an instrument. The water around you vibrates gently. Your ribs resonate with each deep pulse. The sound passes through you, not around you, as if the boundary between your body and the ocean has momentarily dissolved. These low frequencies align with the rhythms of rest. Long, slow, steady. A cadence that invites the mind to quiet itself, to sink deeper, to loosen its grip on the day. It is no coincidence that humans listening to whale songs report feeling calmer, softer, more grounded. Our nervous systems respond instinctively to these drawn-out vibrations, the way they respond to deep breathing or the steady rumble of a distant storm. The whale sings again, a long, resonant note that drifts outward in a widening circle of sound. The ocean absorbs it. The deep carries it. Another whale hears it. And in this quiet moment, you realize something the whales have always understood. That connection does not require proximity. That communication does not require urgency. That companionship can exist across great distances. A song can bridge an ocean. As you breathe in and out, slowly, gently, matching the rhythm of these underwater calls, you may feel the same truth unfolding within you. That presence can travel far. That stillness can touch others. that you too can speak softly and still be heard. In a world as vast as the open ocean, it might seem easy to imagine the blue whale as a solitary wanderer, an enormous being moving alone through endless waters. And sometimes, this is true. Whales often travel great distances without another giant in sight. But solitude in the ocean is not loneliness. It is simply part of a rhythm, balanced by moments of companionship that arrive softly, almost imperceptibly, like waves meeting an open sea. Picture the whale now, gliding through its migration path. The water is calm, the light dim, the currents gentle. For days, perhaps weeks, it has traveled without seeing another of its kind. The ocean is wide enough to make even a creature this enormous feel small. Yet the whale is at ease. In the sea, presence is not measured by proximity. Then, one morning or evening, for time blurs underwater, a distant call vibrates through the deep. A low, resonant pulse, a familiar frequency, a voice. The whale pauses, listening. Another call follows, a patient sequence of notes, spaced far apart, as if respecting the stillness between them. It is not urgent. It is simply an announcement. I am here. Slowly, without haste, the whale shifts direction. Hours may pass before the silhouettes of two giants appear in the same blue corridor. They do not rush toward each other, nor do they greet with fanfare. Instead, their paths merge like currents converging, a quiet, natural joining. And this is how companionship looks in the world of blue whales. Two enormous beings drifting side by side, separated by meters, yet connected by presence. Their flukes rise and fall in similar rhythms. Their breaths plume into the air almost in unison. They share space without needing to fill it with activity. Sometimes they swim so closely their fins nearly touch, a kind of underwater mirroring. Other times they move with gentle distance, parallel lines drawn across the sea. There is no urgency, no dominance, no display, just a slow companionship, steady, patient, serene. These temporary pairings may last minutes, hours, or days. Sometimes several whales gather loosely in feeding grounds, their immense bodies weaving through krill blooms like drifting constellations. They do not form tight social groups like dolphins or primates. Their bonds are more fluid, more like a quiet agreement to share the same portion of sea. And yet, these encounters matter. In moments of companionship, whales exchange information not with complex gestures, but with subtle cues, a change in swimming pace, a shift in direction, a sequence of low calls, a pause beneath the surface. To drift with another is to feel the world become a little smaller, a little less empty. Even without touching, they acknowledge one another in the slow, underwater language of presence. Imagine floating between them, feeling the ocean vibrate with each whale's breath, each long dive, each gentle turn. Their companionship has no demand, no expectation. It is simply shared space, shared time, shared quiet. And perhaps you feel a soft recognition in this, that companionship in your own life doesn't always come from words or constant closeness. Sometimes it is a calm presence beside you. Sometimes it is simply knowing you are not alone in your drifting. As the whales continue side by side, the sun sets above, turning the surface water gold. Two silhouettes slip through the shimmering dark, moving in unhurried harmony. Eventually, their paths will diverge. One will peel into a different current system. The other will ascend for breath at a slightly different angle. No farewell is needed. They were companions for as long as the ocean allowed, and in that slow passage together, there was quiet meaning. Every year, blue whales follow migration routes that stretch across oceans, paths so long, so ancient, and so consistent that they seem less like choices and more like memories carried through generations. These routes are not marked by stars or coastlines. They are written in water, in temperature, in instinct, and in something deeper, something that feels almost like the ocean's quiet guidance. Imagine the whale now moving steadily through a vast expanse of blue. There are no signs, no boundaries, no familiar landmarks. Yet the whale swims with unmistakable purpose, as if following a map woven not onto paper, but into its very bones. How does it know where to go? Part of the answer lies in the ocean itself. Migration routes align with cold currents rich in nutrients, with underwater topographies that amplify sound for communication, with seasonal patterns that have repeated for millions of years. Whales do not memorize these patterns in the way humans memorize roads. They feel them. A subtle drop in temperature may signal approaching feeding grounds. A shift in salinity may hint at distant estuaries. A faint chemical signature carried by currents may whisper, "You have been here before." It is memory, but not the kind stored in stories or images. It is memory stored in sensation. A calf, traveling with its mother during its first year, absorbs these cues without conscious learning. Every mile becomes a lesson. Every turn becomes an imprint. The path sinks into its awareness slowly, gently, like a rhythm practiced until it becomes natural. By the time the calf matures and travels alone, it moves with the same certainty, following the same roads through the same seas, guided by a memory that no single whale owns, yet all whales share. This inheritance is astonishing. A migration route spanning thousands of miles, passed down not by instruction, but by existence. Imagine drifting with the whale as it approaches a region it last visited many months ago. The water here has a particular feel, cold, dense, filled with nutrients rising from the deep. Krill clouds pulse gently, glowing faintly with movement. The whale's pace shifts almost imperceptibly, body adjusting in recognition. It has returned home, not home in the human sense of walls or rooms, but home as a pattern in the world, a place where the whale's needs are met, where its ancestors traveled, where the ocean's memory aligns with its own. And just as whales carry memory, so does the ocean. Currents repeat their great loops season after season. Underwater mountain ranges guide sound as they always have. Gyres spin in ancient spirals. Upwellings rise, predictable as breath. Migration, then, is a partnership between the whale and the world, a conversation between body and water, instinct and environment, present and past. As you drift alongside this giant traveler, you may wonder about the migrations in your own life, the paths you return to without knowing why, the choices that feel familiar, the places where you feel a quiet sense of belonging. Perhaps you too follow your own subtle currents, a feeling that says this is the right direction, a memory of comfort or nourishment, an instinct that whispers you have been here before and it is safe to return. The whale continues forward, carrying the inherited wisdom of countless ancestors. Its path is long, but never lonely. Each mile echoes with memory, its own, and the ocean's. And as night descends again across the water, the whale travels on, guided by the quiet certainty that the world, in its vastness, still remembers the way. Night on the open ocean has its own kind of magic, but moonlit nights are something special, soft, luminous, and vast. When the moon rises high above the water, the entire sea becomes a living mirror, shimmering with pale silver light. And somewhere beneath that glowing expanse, the blue whale moves like a drifting shadow, immense, silent, and deeply serene. Imagine the moon overhead. Its reflection ripples across the surface, broken gently by waves, extending in a long, trembling path of light. The sea seems to breathe, slowly, calmly, in rhythm with the great body moving below. Now, imagine sinking just beneath that surface, joining the whale in its quiet world. The moon's glow filters down, softened by water into broad beams that sway like curtains of pale silk. The light does not illuminate everything. It only hints, revealing the whale in pieces, a curve of its back, a glint along its fin, a faint shimmer on its flukes. The rest remains in soft shadow, where the whale seems to dissolve into the water. This is the ocean at its gentlest. No sharp contrasts, no sudden motions, only slow gradients of light and dark, like a dream between waking and sleep. The whale rises toward the surface, drawn by the need for air. Its ascent is effortless, its tail sweeping in slow, powerful arcs. As it approaches the glowing barrier above, the light intensifies around it, outlining its vast shape in silver-blue brilliance. Then, a plume. A tall, misty exhalation bursts into the moonlit air, glowing faintly as droplets scatter the light. The sound, though gentle, echoes across the quiet sea. Not intrusive, not jarring, but grounding. Like a deep sigh from the world itself. For a moment, the whale floats at the surface, bathed in moonlight. You can imagine yourself floating beside it, the water cool against your skin, the night sky stretching infinitely above. The stars shimmer, reflected in both sea and eye. The moon casts a silver halo on the whale's back. Everything feels connected in this moment, air to water, light to shadow, you to the drifting giant beside you. And then, with a slow roll of its great body, the whale turns downward. Its tail arcs high above the surface, silhouetted against the moon like a broad, gentle crescent. Water cascades from its flukes in sparkling trails. The dive begins again. But moonlit dives are different. The light follows the whale deeper than the sun ever does at sunset. Soft beams stretch into the water column, painting faint patterns along the whale's back. For several seconds, you can see it clearly, suspended in luminous blue. Then the light thins. The whale fades. A massive shadow drifts downward until only faint silver dust marks its passing. Bioluminescent life awakens around it, tiny flashes igniting in response to its movement. The whale's tail sends out swirling rings of stars, glowing for a moment before dissolving into darkness. You follow the whale with your breath, inhaling as it rises, exhaling as it sinks. This rhythm becomes hypnotic, a tide within your own chest, a peaceful pulse that slows your thoughts, quieting them until they drift like plankton in the dark. Moonlit nights bring clarity to the ocean's surface, but beneath the waves, they bring softness, a blending of worlds, a merging of light and deep. A reminder that even in vast spaces, beauty can be gentle. And as the whale continues its slow descent into the moonlit dark, you feel the world narrowing to this one serene moment, the silver path on the water, the soft glow drifting downward, the giant moving in tranquil arcs below. Tonight, the ocean holds both moon and whale, and in their soft convergence, it holds you too. Most of the ocean's life is never seen, not because it hides, but because it is small, translucent, or drifting in a world too deep for light. Yet these invisible creatures shape the blue whale's journey every bit as much as krill blooms or ocean currents. They are the quiet architects of the sea, tiny, delicate beings that glow, drift, pulse, and shimmer in ways that feel almost otherworldly. Imagine the whale now, swimming through a darkening blue. Its immense body displaces water in slow, rhythmic waves. Around it, the unseen begins to stir, not dramatic movements, not sudden flashes, just soft, delicate shifts in the water, as if the ocean is exhaling millions of tiny breaths. Plankton begin to glow in faint streaks as the whale passes. Jellies, nearly invisible during the day, pulse gently in the dim light, their translucent bells expanding and contracting with slow grace. Some organisms spark faintly when disturbed, a trail of bioluminescent dust following the whale's path like stardust suspended underwater. These lights are not bright. They are whispers of illumination, tiny punctuation marks in the vastness of the dark. Now imagine drifting just behind the whale. The water around you is cool, quiet, alive with movement that requires no sound. You raise your hand, real or imagined, and the motion sends a small flurry of light drifting outward, glowing for a moment before fading again. It feels like touching constellations. Many of these invisible creatures are part of the ocean's vertical migrations, the largest daily migration on Earth. At night, they rise toward the surface in massive drifting clouds. At dawn, they sink back into the deep, billions of animals moving in slow unison, following a rhythm older than continents. The whale does not hunt them, but it feels them. Their presence tells it something about the state of the ocean, nutrient levels, water quality, the health of the ecosystem. This invisible life is the ocean's whispering voice, telling slow, ancient stories that only the most attentive listeners can detect. Sometimes, larger beings pass through this miniature world. Lanternfish with shimmering sides, squid with glowing spots, ribbon-like creatures that ripple through the water like moving silk. They appear and disappear around the whale, small flickers in the corner of perception. The whale does not chase them. It glides through them, a gentle giant moving through clouds of living dust. There is a certain comfort in this nearly invisible world, a reminder that life thrives even in the quietest corners, that existence does not need to be large or loud to matter, that beauty can be delicate, fleeting, almost unnoticeable. As you drift in this scene, you may feel your thoughts begin to mimic the motion of these tiny organisms, slow, upward, then drifting down again, repeating in gentle cycles that soothe the mind. The whale continues its path, and with each movement, it stirs new constellations of light. The deep pulses softly, the invisible life responds. Everything moves together in a slow, interconnected dance. You realize then that the ocean is not empty at all. It is full, overflowing, with small, luminous moments that rarely meet human eyes. And perhaps you feel a truth unfolding in this drifting world, that the unseen often supports the enormous, that quiet beings hold up great ecosystems, that you too are buoyed by small invisible kindnesses every day. The whale swims on, the invisible accompanies it, and the night, alive with hidden stars, grows deeper and softer around you. In a world as vast and fluid as the open ocean, danger rarely appears with drama. It approaches quietly, often as a shift in current, a distant flicker of movement, a subtle change in the water's pressure or tone. Even for a blue whale, the largest creature ever known, awareness is part of survival. Not fear, not panic, just awareness, calm, steady, instinctive. Imagine the whale now, gliding through a long stretch of open water. Sunlight filters down in wavering ribbons. The sea is wide and empty to human eyes, yet filled with faint signals to the whale. A deeper thrum, a distant disturbance, a shadow moving where shadows usually don't. Predators of the blue whale are exceedingly rare, but they do exist. Orcas, traveling in synchronized pods, sometimes follow whales, testing, watching, gauging opportunity. They do not always attack. In most encounters, the whales simply continue their path, too large and too steady to be threatened. But today, imagine a distant orca pod drawing closer. The blue whale senses them long before they appear. Not through sight, visibility underwater is limited. Not through panic, its heartbeat remains slow. But through the subtle geometry of sound and movement carried across the water. Each splash, each coordinated turn, each low-frequency click shifts the acoustic landscape. Instead of fleeing, the whale adjusts its course with quiet intention. A slight change in angle, a deeper dive, a shift into a current that favors endurance over speed. The ocean offers many pathways, and the whale chooses the one that requires the least effort, the least disruption. It does not need to outpace predators. It only needs to move with the calm confidence of its enormous body, a body predators rarely challenge in earnest. If the orcas close in, the whale may surface more frequently to keep the calf, if present, near its body, or it may rotate to shield vital areas. But even in these defensive acts, there is no frenzy. The whale's movements remain slow, deliberate, controlled. Strength without aggression, awareness without fear. As you drift beside the whale during this encounter, you may feel a surprising softness in the moment. The water does not churn. The whale does not clash with its would-be pursuers. The orcas, intelligent and strategic, may eventually lose interest. A healthy adult blue whale is simply too large, too difficult, and too composed to make for an easy target. In the deep, shadows come and go. Not all shadows are threats. Some are simply moments of contrast in the whale's long journey. The whale rises now, exhaling in a tall plume that sparkles briefly in sunlight. Then it sinks again, the dark shapes fading behind it. Within minutes, the ocean returns to quiet balance. This is the whale's wisdom, that not every disturbance must be confronted, that not every shadow carries danger, that calm endurance can outlast most challenges. Perhaps as you breathe with the whale now, you feel a reflection of that wisdom within yourself, the understanding that not every difficulty in your own life needs forceful resistance. Some challenges pass as quietly as they arrive. Some shadows drift away when met with steady presence rather than fear. The whale continues on, its path undisturbed. The orcas veer elsewhere, seeking different waters. The ocean exhales, all returns to stillness. And you, floating in this wide blue space, feel the quiet truth settle around you. Sometimes strength is not the force you exert, but the calm you maintain. For most animals on Earth, survival is a matter of speed, quick reflexes, bursts of energy, rapid decision-making. But the blue whale lives by a very different law, the art of slow endurance. In a world where nearly everything moves faster than it does, the whale thrives not by outpacing danger, but by outlasting it, by conserving energy, by moving in deliberate, thoughtful rhythms that stretch across hours, days, even seasons. Imagine the whale now, suspended in the open blue. Its enormous body rises and falls with each breath cycle, up toward the light, down into the dim, each movement shaped by patience. There is no frantic activity, no sudden acceleration, just a steady, measured existence built around conserving strength. The whale's size is its shield. Few creatures can challenge it. Even the ocean's harshest pressures bend around its flexible ribs. The cold cannot claim it. Thick layers of blubber hold warmth like a deep ocean ember. Starvation is rare, for the whale feeds not on unpredictability, but on abundance. Entire blooms of krill, dense and drifting like underwater clouds. Its strategy is simple: move slowly, eat efficiently, rest deeply, spend energy only when necessary. And in this slow-motion survival, there is elegance. Researchers have observed that a blue whale may travel for hours with barely a shift in its fluke rhythm. A pulse of power, a long glide, a pause, another pulse. By minimizing effort, the whale maximizes endurance, allowing it to cross entire ocean basins with calm determination. Its heart rate slows during dives. Its muscles store oxygen. Every part of its physiology whispers the same ancient message: do not hurry. Imagine drifting beside the whale as it descends into deeper water. The sunlight dims, the pressure grows, yet the whale moves with confidence, even grace. Its massive frame compresses slightly, perfectly adapted to withstand forces that would crush other animals. Its lungs fold gently, reducing buoyancy, conserving energy, preventing injury. Nothing resists. Everything yields in harmony with the water. As the whale glides, smaller creatures scatter in its wake. Shoals of tiny fish, clouds of plankton, translucent jellies pulsing in slow fear. The whale does not pause. It does not chase. It continues on, steady as a drifting planet, carrying the quiet resilience of its species. Sometimes the ocean offers challenges less dramatic than predators, but more constant. Storms that churn surface waters for days, currents that shift unpredictably, patches of sea with little food, cold fronts that make travel harder. And yet the whale endures them all the same way, not through force, not through speed, but through patience. It waits, it drifts, it rests, it conserves. The ocean in time always changes. Storms lose strength. Currents return to their patterns. Food appears again. Warm waters rise, and the whale, still steady, continues its journey. Perhaps as you follow this giant through the dim blue, you realize that survival is not always a matter of fighting. Sometimes it is the art of knowing when to be still, when to conserve your strength, when to trust that challenges pass. The whale rises now for air, breaking the surface with a plume of mist that glows in the light. Its breath is calm, neither hurried nor labored. It rests for a moment, letting the world settle around it. And you, drifting in this quiet space, may feel a lesson gently settling inside you, that sometimes moving slowly is not weakness. It is wisdom. It is endurance. It is survival learned across millions of years. The whale descends once more, disappearing into the blue with a slow, unhurried sweep of its tail. A creature shaped not by the chaos of survival, but by the serenity of it. Memory, in the ocean does not belong to a single creature. It is held in the water itself, carried through tides, currents, migrations, and ancient rhythms that repeat year after year, century after century. The blue whale moves through these memories not as an outsider, but as a continuation of them. When it swims, it follows pathways traced long before it was born. When it feeds, it relies on cycles older than continents. When it sings, its voice joins a lineage of calls stretching back through the ancient dark. Imagine floating now near the whale in a calm expanse of water. The ocean around you feels timeless. Its surface rises and falls with gentle precision, as if breathing with a memory too vast for individual minds. Beneath you, cold and warm layers of water drift past each other in wide, slow loops, currents that have flowed this way for millennia. The sea remembers where it has been, where storms once churned, nutrients still linger, where glaciers melted, salinity shifted, shaping paths for future migrations. Where volcanic ridges rose from the seafloor, they redirected sound thousands of years later, and the whale reads these memories like a quiet script. It senses the faint chemical differences in the water, the subtle changes in temperature, the echoes of underwater mountains formed long before its species evolved. It feels the sea's history through its skin, its instincts, its slow, deliberate movements. A calf born today swims the same routes its ancestors swam, routes carved not by thought, but by the ocean's long memory. A migration that feels newly chosen is actually ancient. A feeding ground discovered is really rediscovered, visited by thousands of whales before. Even the whale's song carries memory. Each region's population sings slightly different patterns, notes shaped by tradition as much as by biology. Over decades, these songs evolve, absorb new rhythms, lose old ones, transform gradually like stories retold through generations. In a way, every blue whale is both an individual and a continuation, a single note in a long, slow melody. The species has been singing for millions of years. Imagine placing your hand gently into the water. Feel how it moves around your fingers, how the current flows without resistance. The water you touch is ancient. It may have rested beneath Arctic ice long before your lifetime. It may once have circled the Southern Ocean, carried krill blooms that fed whales you will never know. The ocean remembers everything it holds, and the whale, in its calm presence, helps reveal this truth, that memory is not something rigid or fixed. It is fluid. It shifts, drifts, expands, dissolves, and reforms, much like a tide, much like a breath. Perhaps, as you drift in this quiet moment, you begin to sense memories within yourself that move the same way, not sharp recollections, but impressions, feelings, instincts that guide you without demanding explanation. A sense of where you belong, a sense of where you have been, a sense of the paths you quietly follow, echoing something older than your conscious mind. The whale continues forward, gliding through water that holds centuries of movement. It does not rush. It does not resist. It simply joins the flow of memory, trusting the ocean to carry it toward the cycles of abundance and rest. And you, drifting beside it, feel that same quiet trust settle around you. The world remembers its rhythms. The ocean remembers its paths. And somewhere within you, a memory of calm begins to return. As ancient and enduring as the tide itself. To the untrained eye, The ocean's currents may seem random, vast, swirling movements of water pushed around by wind and weather. But to the creatures who live within them, and to the whale who glides with effortless precision, currents have a quiet intelligence. They are not chaotic. They are choreography, patterns shaped by temperature, salt, Earth's rotation, and ancient forces that move with purpose across the deep. Imagine drifting beside the whale now. You feel a subtle change in the water, a gentle pull, a soft shift in direction. Nothing abrupt, nothing forceful, just a current taking shape around you, like the beginning of a thought. The whale responds immediately, though almost invisibly. Its body tilts by a few degrees. Its flukes adjust. Its muscles relax into a new alignment. In this tiny shift, the whale is reading the intelligence of the ocean. Currents are not merely flowing water. They carry warmth from the equator, cold from the poles, nutrients from the deep, stories from distant seas. They are the ocean's circulatory system, delivering life where it is needed, gathering excess where it is abundant, redistributing the ingredients of ecosystems in slow, patient movements. A whale does not fight these currents. It collaborates with them. Where humans might see an obstacle, the whale sees an opportunity, a chance to conserve energy, to be carried effortlessly, to follow a path shaped not by struggle, but by harmony. Look deeper, and you find remarkable complexity. Western boundary currents race along continental edges, delivering warmth that fuels entire food chains. Upwelling currents rise from the deep, carrying nutrients that ignite blooms of life. Gyres, vast circular systems, stir the ocean like a slow spoon turning a wide bowl. Thermohaline circulation, the great global conveyor belt, moves water across the world on a journey that can take 1,000 years. And the whale understands all of this, not intellectually, but instinctively. Its skin feels subtle temperature gradients. Its body responds to salinity shifts. Its inner compass follows the gentle tug of magnetic fields woven into the planet. Its hearing picks up distant echoes amplified by underwater topography. It senses what the ocean is doing long before human instruments can measure it. To float in this awareness is to realize that the sea is not a blank space. It is a thinking, moving system, not conscious perhaps, but purposeful. Currents are decisions the ocean makes over and over, shaping the lives of everything within it. As you drift beside the whale, imagine surrendering to that intelligence. Imagine letting the world carry you for a moment, instead of constantly pushing against it. Feel the current wrap softly around your body. Feel the guidance it offers, not forceful, not demanding, simply present. There is a deep comfort in recognizing that the world has its own rhythms, that not everything must be controlled, that sometimes the wisest choice is to follow the path of least resistance, trusting that it leads somewhere meaningful. The whale moves with this quiet wisdom. It glides rather than pushes. It listens rather than resists. It allows itself to be carried, saving its strength for moments when power is truly needed. Perhaps, as you breathe slowly now, you feel a parallel truth in your own life, that you too are surrounded by currents, social, emotional, internal, some of which can carry you forward if you stop swimming against them. A gentle current nudges the whale forward. The ocean's intelligence flows around it, and together they continue their journey, neither leading, neither following, simply moving in shared purpose. In the quiet world of the blue whale, adaptation is not a sudden act nor a desperate reaction. It is poetry, slow, graceful, shaped over millions of years by the soft insistence of the ocean. Everything about the whale's life reflects this long, quiet craftsmanship. Its size, its movement, its voice, its migration, even its stillness. Imagine the whale drifting just beneath the surface, its smooth back illuminated by gentle light. At a glance, the whale appears complete, unchanging, ancient, fixed in form. But look closer, and you will see a story still unfolding. Adaptation is not something the whale has. It is something the whale lives. Its body is a poem written through time. The blowhole. Once a nostril on the face of a land-dwelling ancestor, it migrated slowly to the top of the head, an adaptation so elegant it turns breathing into a single, effortless gesture. The baleen hair-like structures evolved not for chewing, but for filtering, an adaptation born from abundance, allowing the whale to feed on tiny drift-in life. The flippers. Once limbs used for walking, now streamlined into shapes inspired by the wings of birds, an adaptation for slow gliding in a medium far denser than air. The heart, growing larger than any other animal's, yet beating slowly. An adaptation for diving long and traveling far without exhausting energy. Every one of these changes occurred not through force, but through gentle, persistent shaping, like tides smoothing stone. Adaptation in the whale's world is not about domination. It is about harmony. It is about learning the language of the sea. As the whale dives deeper, you can imagine how its body softens into the environment, the compression of its lungs preventing pressure damage, the shifting of oxygen to muscles rich in myoglobin, the slow heartbeat preserving precious energy. The whale does not fight the deep. It adapts to it. And in this adaptation, there is beauty. Beauty that reflects not competition, but coexistence. Adaptation is quiet resilience. Think of the krill blooms that shift with climate and how the whale adjusts its migration. Think of temperature changes and how its thick blubber and calm metabolism buffer the cold. Think of shifting currents and how its instincts reweave the map of its world. Adaptation for the whale is not fear, it is trust. Trust that the body can change. Trust that the environment offers guidance. Trust that slowness is not vulnerability, but wisdom. As you drift beside this ancient creature, perhaps you sense the subtle lessons wrapped in its form. That you, too, have adapted in ways you rarely notice. That your voice, your pace, your resilience have been shaped by tides of experience. That you carry deep wisdom from times in your life when you learned to bend rather than break. That some of your most profound transformations happened gradually, quietly, beneath the surface. The whale rises now through a shaft of soft blue light. Its body glimmers, water beads rolling like stars along its back. For a moment, you see not just an animal, but a long story, a story of change, patience, and survival through gentleness. Adaptation in the ocean is not triumph. It is elegance. It is softness shaped into strength. It is poetry written by water, time, and life. And as the whale moves onward, its body a testament to the beauty of evolving slowly, you may feel a quiet permission within yourself to grow gently, to change gradually, to trust the slow poetry of your own becoming. If you listen long enough to the natural world, you begin to notice that every creature has a rhythm, a pace shaped by its needs, its size, its habitat, its history. Hummingbirds pulse with rapid fire. Wolves move in deliberate strides. Forests inhale and exhale with the turn of the seasons. But among all rhythms on Earth, few are as slow, steady, and calming as the rhythm of the blue whale. Imagine floating beside the whale now, the water gently pressing against your skin. Everything is quiet, quiet in a way that feels deeper than silence. The whale's movements are slow arcs carved through the water, its tail rising and falling in long, graceful sweeps. And beneath all of this, the rhythm. A heartbeat once every few seconds, a breath every few minutes, a dive that lasts as long as a human nap, a migration stretched across months. There is no rush in the whale's world, no frantic motion, no hurried decisions. Its rhythm is the rhythm of deep time, a pace shaped by oceans, not moments, by evolution, not urgency. When the whale inhales, you feel the water expand with it. When it exhales, a calm descends. When it dives, the surface settles behind it in gentle ripples. This slowness is not weakness. It is stability. It is endurance. It is mastery of energy in a world where everything must be conserved. Humans often live at odds with their natural rhythm. We accelerate, compress, chase, overextend. Our lives tick forward in minutes, deadlines, notifications. But the whale reminds us that time can stretch, that motion can soften, that life can be lived at a slower beat and still be full. Consider the whale's breath. It rises from the deep with lungs nearly empty, moves through the water in a long ascent, breaks the surface, exhales a plume of warm mist, inhales deeply, and sinks again. That single breath may take more than a minute, a whole moment given to simply breathing. What would life feel like if you moved through your days with that kind of intentional presence? If each breath were a gentle return to the surface? If each pause became a moment of recalibration rather than an interruption? Even the whale's feeding rhythm mirrors this slowness. It lunges, gathers, filters, then glides, resting its muscles, trusting momentum, conserving energy. This constant balancing, exertion, then rest, movement, then stillness, is a kind of meditation practiced over millions of years. As you drift with the whale, you begin to feel your own rhythm soften. Your heartbeat slows, your breath deepens, your thoughts spread out like ripples instead of crashing like waves. This is what the whale teaches without words, that life is not meant to be lived at a single speed. That rest is as natural as motion. That slowness has a wisdom all its own. In many ways, the whale's rhythm echoes the oceans, the rise and fall of tides, the drifting of currents, the slow rotation of the planet beneath the waves. Everything in nature moves at the pace that sustains it. And you, floating here in this imagined world, may feel something inside you returning to its own natural rhythm, one not shaped by urgency, but by calm, not by pressure, but by breath. The whale turns gently, its silhouette a slow-moving constellation in the blue. It does not rush. It does not push. It simply moves at the slowest rhythm in the wild and shapes the world around it with peace. The open ocean may appear to be a vast, empty world, too large, too deep, too shifting for cooperation to exist. But beneath the waves, life thrives through quiet partnerships, subtle exchanges, and rhythms of coexistence that weave species together in ways both delicate and profound. The blue whale, though immense and seemingly solitary, is part of this silent tapestry of cooperation. Picture the whale now, gliding through a region where currents rise from the deep, bringing nutrients upward in invisible spirals. With those nutrients come blooms of phytoplankton, tiny plant-like organisms that catch sunlight and convert it into life. They multiply in great drifting clouds, coloring the water with green and gold. Soon, zooplankton feed on them. Krill feed on the zooplankton, and the whale feeds on the krill. This cycle is not competition, it is cooperation, a slow, interwoven exchange of energy across species and scales. Nothing in the ocean lives alone. Everything participates in a long, ancient conversation. Imagine drifting alongside the whale as it approaches a feeding ground illuminated by sunlight. Seabirds circle above, their wings tracing slow arcs. Fish gather in shimmering schools below. Predators wait at the edges, not in ambush, but as participants in an evolving balance. Every creature is shaped by every other. Even the whale's feeding helps the ocean. When it defecates, its iron-rich waste fertilizes phytoplankton blooms. Those blooms absorb carbon. They feed zooplankton. They sustain krill. And the cycle continues. A giant nourishes the smallest life, and the smallest life nourishes the giant. This is the quiet cooperation of the sea. In colder waters, where krill gather densely, whales often feed in loose groups. They do not coordinate like dolphins or hunt in teams like orcas. Instead, they share space with an unspoken agreement. There is enough for all. Move gently. Take what you need. Leave the rest. Even predators like sharks and orcas play roles in this balance, shaping populations, influencing migrations, encouraging species to adapt and thrive. Cooperation does not always look like harmony. It sometimes looks like a system that supports growth through challenge and renewal. Beneath the surface, jellies drift like translucent lanterns, filtering plankton. Tiny shrimp-clean parasites from larger creatures. Fish shelter beneath the bellies of giants, using their shadows as protection. Everything moves together, each life brushing against another, each existence supporting the next. The ocean does not demand perfection. It asks only participation. And the whale participates by simply being what it is: a migrator, a feeder, a singer, a carrier of nutrients, a shaper of currents, a guardian of balance. As you drift beside the whale, you may feel a similar truth unfolding within you, that cooperation is not always loud or structured. Sometimes it is a gentle presence beside someone. Sometimes it is taking only what you need. Sometimes it is adapting to support the ecosystem of your own life. Consider the people, moments, and quiet exchanges that nourish your days, the ones that go unnoticed but hold everything together. Cooperation in your world may look simple, even mundane, but its impact is vast. Just as the whale moves through a sea of interconnected roles, you move through a life shaped by countless subtle contributions, ones you give and ones you receive without realizing. The whale rises now, its plume catching the afternoon light. Around it, the ocean moves in soft choreography, each creature, each current, each drifting particle part of a whole. In this quiet cooperation, everything belongs, everything has purpose, everything supports everything else, and as the whale glides on, you drift with it, feeling held by the same gentle truth. We are carried not by individual strength, but by the invisible networks of life surrounding us. The life of a blue whale unfolds in cycles, vast loops of motion that repeat year after year, carrying the whale across entire oceans and back again. These cycles are not rigid schedules, nor are they wandering without purpose. They are patterns shaped by seasons, food, temperature, and instinct. They are the ocean's slow heartbeat, expressed through the movement of giants. Imagine the whale now, nearing the end of a long migration. The waters have grown colder, richer in nutrients. The sea feels familiar, chemical signatures subtly echoing years and decades of memory. It has been here before. Its mother has been here. Her mother has been here. Arrival is not simply reaching a destination. It is returning to a rhythm. The whale dives into dense blooms of krill, feeding deeply after months of fasting. Its immense body, tired from travel, replenishes itself slowly as it moves through drifting feasts. Around the whale, life thrums, seabirds diving, fish weaving, smaller whales feeding in soft coordination. This is a season of abundance. It is a season of presence. The whale will stay here for weeks, perhaps months, gathering strength for the next phase of the cycle. But the ocean changes, always. As summer wanes, currents shift, waters warm. Krill descend deeper or disperse. A whisper moves through the sea. It is time to go. Departure does not happen all at once. It is a gentle decision, a long drifting turn toward warmer waters where calves are born and the sea becomes calm enough for nurturing new life. The whale begins to move southward, following subtle cues in temperature and daylight. Its path is not straight. Nothing in the ocean is straight. It moves with currents, arcs around underwater mountains, rests in deeper layers, rises occasionally to breathe under stars. Each mile is part of a larger pattern, a story written not in words, but in movement. During this journey, the whale may pass through places it visited months earlier. A familiar current brushes its skin. A sound echoes from an underwater ridge. Another giant appears briefly in the distance. These moments of recognition are not coincidences. They are part of the cycle, part of the ocean's quiet architecture. Eventually, the whale returns to breeding grounds, warm, gentle waters where new beginnings take shape. Calves are born here, learning the earliest rhythms of life from the bodies of their mothers. Arrival becomes renewal. Departure becomes memory. Return becomes meaning. As you drift beside the whale, you may feel your own life echoing with similar cycles. Times when you have journeyed far, emotionally, physically, spiritually. Times when you have found abundance, moments of nourishment and rest. Times when you felt a whisper inside you saying, "It is time to move on." Or times when you found yourself returning to places, people, or states of mind that once held comfort. We often think of life as linear, moving from one point to the next, but nature shows us another truth. Life moves in circles, in seasons, in repetitions that shape us gently, quietly. Arrivals teach us presence. Departures teach us courage. Returns teach us wisdom. The whale's cycle is not rushed. It does not judge itself for slowing down or for moving on. It simply listens to instinct, to water, to memory, to the subtle pull of the world. Tonight, as the whale swims onward, you travel with it through one turn of this ancient pattern. You witness the soft power of arrival, the grace of leaving, the comfort of returning. And perhaps you realize you too are part of cycles far older and wiser than you know. You too move with tides, internal and external. You too are always arriving, departing, and returning again and again in the long story of your life. If you spend enough time with the sea, whether standing at its edge, drifting at its surface, or imagining yourself deep within its quiet blue, you begin to understand why so many creatures, including the blue whale, seem shaped not just by water, but by its lessons. Water teaches through movement, through pressure, through surrender, through persistence. It teaches gently, but undeniably. Imagine floating now beside the whale. The ocean holds you effortlessly, lifting your body with every small swell. You feel no sharp edges, no sudden shifts, only give, flow, and response. This is the first lesson of water. Yielding is not weakness. The ocean yields to every shape that enters it, yet nothing can move through it without being changed. Water's softness is its power. The blue whale understands this intuitively. It does not cut through the ocean with brute force. It moves with the water's rhythms, tilting with currents, gliding along density layers, rising and falling with deep, slow breaths. Its survival depends not on resistance, but on cooperation. Perhaps you too have moments in your life where yielding allowed you to move forward, not by pushing harder, but by softening into the flow of circumstance, allowing events to shape you without breaking you. The second lesson of water: movement creates clarity. Even the quietest tide reshapes the shoreline. Even the smallest current stirs nutrients toward the light. When water moves, life follows. The whale's migrations reflect this truth. It does not remain in one place, waiting for abundance to appear. It moves with the world's cycles, seeking food when the sea is fertile, warmth when the ocean cools, safety when the storms gather. Its vast journeys are not wanderings, they are clarity in motion. Our own inner currents work the same way. Sometimes clarity comes only when we move, take a step, make a call, change a habit, leave a situation, or simply breathe differently. The third lesson: water holds memory without clinging. The ocean remembers everything: the minerals of ancient mountains, the flows of great rivers, the migrations of whales, the ashes of storms. Yet it does not trap these memories. It carries them, reshapes them, releases them. The whale swims through water that once touched icebergs, coral reefs, distant shores, and inside you are memories that shape your present, but they do not need to anchor you. Water teaches that memories can move with you, not weigh you down. The fourth lesson: water adapts to every shape, yet stays true to itself. It becomes mist, rain, ice, river, fog, tide, but always remains water. Likewise, the whale adapts to depth, pressure, current, season, yet its essence does not change. In your own life, you have adapted countless times to new environments, new people, new challenges, yet the core of who you are remains. Finally, the fifth lesson: rest is part of the flow. Even rivers have still pools. Even tides pause at their highest reach. Even storms settle. The whale rests in gentle arcs of drifting, saving energy, letting the sea carry it. Its rest is not absence of movement. It is movement without effort. As you breathe with the whale now, perhaps you sense the ocean teaching you to soften, to move, to remember without clinging, to adapt without losing yourself, to rest as part of living. Water is the teacher of giants and minnows alike, and tonight, drifting in the blue beside a creature shaped by millions of tides, you are reminded that the softest forces in nature often carry the deepest wisdom. In the vastness of the ocean, where distances are wide and time moves in long, unhurried arcs, the blue whale becomes more than a creature of magnitude. It becomes a quiet teacher of release, of the art of letting go. not through struggle, not through philosophy, but through the simple, unwavering way it moves through the world. Imagine the whale now, gliding through water that holds no boundaries. There are no paths it must follow, no walls to press against, no weight to carry but its own steady presence. Every movement is a response to the moment. Nothing forced, nothing held longer than necessary. Letting go begins with the breath. When the whale surfaces, it releases the old, stale, compressed air, expelled in a fountain of mist that flashes briefly in the light before disappearing. It does not cling to it. It does not hesitate. It lets go completely, so there is space for the next deep inhale. A whale cannot rise without releasing first, neither can we. Then there is buoyancy, a quiet physics of surrender. The whale floats not by resisting the water, but by embracing its support. It knows when to sink. It knows when to allow itself to be lifted. It trusts the ocean enough to give in to its hold. Letting go in this way is not abandonment. It is cooperation. It is the act of allowing yourself to be supported by something larger, something steady. The whale also releases movement, the unnecessary, the frantic, the wasted effort. It does not thrash or churn. It chooses efficiency, the smallest motion that carries it forward. Its flukes move with calm precision. Its body follows the path of least resistance, not out of laziness, but out of wisdom. Letting go of tension creates distance. Letting go of force creates clarity. Perhaps the deepest expression of release lies in the whale's migrations. Every year, it leaves feeding grounds behind, places of abundance, familiarity, safety. It releases them without fear, trusting the ocean's cycles, trusting its own instincts, trusting that nourishment will return. When the seasons change, it lets go of comfort in order to pursue new beginnings. It does not mourn what it leaves. It carries only what it needs: strength, memory, rhythm. Imagine now the whale drifting downward into deeper water. Light fades into calm shadow. Silence becomes softer. Pressure increases gently, like the embrace of the deep. Here in the twilight, everything slows. The whale's heartbeat drops. Its muscles relax. Its body yields to the water. This descent is not struggle, it is surrender. A letting go of light, of surface noise, of urgency. A willing drift into a realm where only trust remains. And as you float beside this giant, something in you begins to soften as well. The need to hold on to every thought, the pressure to control every moment, the weight of memories that no longer nourish you, the tightness of worries that belong to daylight hours. All of these begin to loosen, like kelp releasing from rocks in a gentle tide, because letting go does not mean forgetting. It does not mean erasing. It means moving with the world rather than against it, allowing the past to settle, allowing the present to breathe, allowing the future to unfold without force. The whale teaches this not with effort, but with existence, with every breath, with every dive, with every quiet mile of its long journey. And as you drift with it now, you feel the world grow softer around you, not empty, but open, not silent, but peaceful. Letting go becomes a place, a depth, a calm curve of ocean where everything still needed remains, and everything burdensome dissolves into the blue. In the early chapters of this journey, a quiet question drifted into the story, soft, unhurried, like a current slipping through an empty cove. What mysteries does the blue whale carry in its life of calm and depth? Now, as the night deepens and our path begins to arc gently toward rest, we return to that question, not for an answer carved in certainty, but for a deeper understanding shaped by everything we have witnessed. Imagine the whale now, drifting through a wide, tranquil expanse of night water. The moon has set. The stars shimmer as faint, trembling reflections on the surface above. The sea is dark, but not empty. It hums with ancient presence. The whale rises slowly from a deeper layer, its body a vast silhouette emerging from twilight. Its movement is quiet, almost reverent, as if honoring the stillness of the hour. It exhales, a soft plume dissolving into darkness, and inhales again, drawing the cool night air deep into its lungs. The question follows the whale like a gentle shadow. What is the mystery within such a life? Perhaps the mystery lies in its scale, a creature so large, yet so peaceful, so powerful, yet so patient. Or perhaps the mystery lies in its rhythms, a heartbeat that slows to a few beats per minute, a dive that lasts longer than a human dream, a migration that spans oceans without a map. But as you drift with the whale now, another possibility begins to take shape. The mystery is not hidden in the whale's body, nor in the science of pressure and sound, nor even in its ancient lineage. The mystery is in its way of being. The whale does not rush. It does not cling. It does not force its place in the world. It simply moves with what the ocean offers, the currents that guide it, the seasons that sustain it, the depths that welcome it, the surface that grants it breath. It belongs without trying. And perhaps that is the secret you were meant to drift toward all along. A life can be both immense and gentle. A journey can be both long and peaceful. A presence can be both powerful and quiet. As the whale glides forward, a soft glow appears beneath it, bioluminescent sparks swirling in delicate spirals, ignited by the motion of its tail. They rise and fade like drifting stars, illuminating the space around the giant creature with ethereal light. Each spark is a small truth discovered along the way, the calm endurance of migration, the softness within strength, the wisdom of slowness, the cooperation of the sea, the poetry of adaptation. Together, they light a path through the dark. And the question, that gentle, lingering question, changes shape. It no longer asks for explanation. It becomes an invitation. What mystery in your own life grows quieter, clearer, softer when you stop forcing answers and simply drift? The sea does not demand conclusions. It asks only presence, awareness, breath. The whale takes another slow, rising stroke with its flukes. A column of bubbles curls upward like a silent sigh. The water settles behind it in perfect calm. You drift with it, weightless, unhurried, rooted in nothing but this soft moment. The question beneath the waves does not need answers. It needs listening. And as you listen now to the whale, to the water, to your own breath, you feel the descent beginning. The journey softens. The world dims into a gentle blue. The mystery remains, but now it comforts you. There's a moment each night when the ocean seems to exhale, a long, gentle release as the day's movements fade into stillness. Waves soften, currents slow. The surface smooths into dark glass. Even the wind, which spent the day tracing restless patterns across the water, quiets into a whisper. This is the moment into which the blue whale now drifts, a moment where the entire sea feels suspended, hushed, and serene. Imagine floating beside the whale as the last traces of twilight dissolve. The world narrows to soft shades of blue and charcoal. Stars shimmer faintly above, their reflections trembling across the surface. Beneath you, the ocean becomes a quiet, velvety expanse, stretching into unfathomed depth. The whale's silhouette appears and disappears as it moves, not with purpose now, but with the softness of a creature at ease. Its breaths come slowly, each plume rising like a ghostly ribbon before merging with the dark. There is no rush in the whale's motions, no searching, no task to complete, only presence. The night ocean holds everything gently. Even the sounds change. During the day, the sea carries the chatter of fish, the distant rumble of waves breaking on faraway shores, the rhythmic clicks and calls of marine life. But at night, those sounds thin. They stretch out. They settle into the deep like sinking sand, leaving behind vast pockets of quiet. In that quiet, the whale's presence becomes even more profound. Its slow heartbeat, distant yet somehow perceptible. Its long dives, measured like the turning of a planet. Its gentle rise to the surface, forming tiny ripples that fade almost immediately into still water. All of it becomes part of the night's rhythm. Imagine watching the surface above you. It moves less now. The waves flatten, reflecting the stars more clearly. You can almost feel the world slowing down, not just around you, but within you. This is the ocean's invitation to let your inner tide settle with the outer tide, to allow the restlessness of the day to fade, to align yourself with the whale's calm, ancient pace. The whale drifts deeper, slipping into a quiet layer of water where sound becomes muted and darkness grows soft. Its massive body moves like a shadow given breath. Its flukes sweep the water slowly, a gesture so gentle it barely seems to disturb the world around it. In the stillness, you notice how your own breath begins to match the whale's. Longer inhales, smoother exhales, a gradual sinking into the moment. The ocean at night is a world of surrender. Small fish rest in the safety of deeper layers. Bioluminescent creatures pulse intermittently, their lights dimming as if conserving energy. Currents drift instead of rush, and the whale, too, sinks into this deep calm, a living embodiment of rest. There's no fear here. The dark is not menacing. It is comforting, like a warm blanket wrapped around the sea. Perhaps you realize that darkness itself is not empty. It is where things come to rest, where tension dissolves, where the mind loosens its grip on the day. The whale rises again, breaking the surface with a slow, steady exhale that releases a whisper into the night air. Then it sinks once more, returning to the soft cradle of darkness. This rhythm continues, unbroken, gentle as sleep. And as you drift beside this ancient being, you feel yourself slipping into the same cadence, slower, quieter, steadier, as the ocean settles into night and your own world grows softly dim. Though the ocean is dark and quiet now, a faint shift begins to move through it. A subtle promise of dawn still many hours away. It is not light, not warmth, not color yet. It is simply calm gathering upon calm, a soft deepening of stillness that stretches across the water like a blanket gently settling on a sleeping world. The whale senses it first. Long before sunrise, long before even the dimmest hint of gold touches the horizon, the ocean undergoes a transformation. Night does not end abruptly. It softens. The movements of nocturnal creatures slow. The patterns of bioluminescent pulses become sparse and dreamy. Even the currents seem to drift with a little more patience. Imagine floating beside the whale in this moment. The world is neither night nor morning. It is the quiet seam between them, a threshold where nothing needs to happen yet. The whale drifts upward, its massive body illuminated faintly by the last lingering stars above. Its movements are unhurried, as if it too is waiting for something unspoken. With each slow rise, its back brushes the underside of the surface, creating gentle ripples that widen in soft circles. Then it sinks slightly again, held by the weight of the water, a slow, rhythmic swaying, up and down, like a breath, like the world exhaling in its sleep. At this hour, even the whale's sounds seem softened, muted by distance, by depth, by the hush of the approaching dawn. The low thrum of its heartbeat feels almost like it's echoing through your own chest, steady and calming. The water around you grows thicker with quiet. You feel the deep settling of everything: the sea, the sky, the long migration, the slow pulse of life beneath the waves. This is the ocean's version of turning off the last light in a house before sleep. Nothing stops. It simply rests. Far below, life continues, but in low gear. Krill sink toward deeper layers. Fish drift in semi-rest. Tiny creatures curl into the safety of shadow. And far above, the surface remains dim, holding the last of the night's darkness like a final whisper. You may feel, as you drift here, the same hush settling inside you, a quiet loosening of thoughts, a slowing of breath, a heaviness in your body that feels safe, held, and deeply welcome. The whale inhales at the surface. The sound is low and gentle. It echoes across the still water with a softness that feels almost human. A late-night sigh, a settling in, a readiness for rest. Then it descends again, slipping beneath the surface in a smooth, downward glide. The world around it parts without resistance, the water welcoming its shape like a familiar companion. You follow, not with movement, but with awareness, with the simple act of being present. The descent is calming. The water becomes darker yet again, but not ominous, more like a quiet room with no distractions. The whale's body becomes a shadow, then a suggestion, then a comforting presence you feel more than see. This is the calm that gathers at dawn's edge, a peace that does not require light, a stillness that does not depend on sleep, a moment where the world pauses in a long, slow exhale. It is a reminder that quiet does not come only at the end of the day. It can arrive in the middle of things, in the spaces between breaths, in the drifting between one rhythm and the next. The whale continues downward, deeper into the soothing dark. You drift with it, gently sinking into your own quiet. And somewhere very far above, the first hint of a coming sunrise waits patiently, not yet ready, not yet needed, allowing the world one more long moment to rest. There is a moment, somewhere between the whale's slow descent and the first faint warmth of the coming dawn, when the ocean seems to receive something from the whale, a kind of offering so gentle and so subtle that only a world as patient as the sea could notice it. It is not a sound, not a movement, not a gesture. It is simply presence, a calm, steady existence carried through the dark. Imagine the whale now, sinking into deeper water with a smooth, effortless glide. Its vast shadow merges with the surrounding blue, becoming a part of the night rather than a creature moving through it. There is no urgency in its descent, only surrender to the density, the pressure, the soft cradle of the deep. Its flukes move with barely any motion, a slow arc, a gentle push, a drift into stillness. And beneath you, the darkness grows comforting, like the quiet interior of a dream. As the whale descends, the world around it begins to respond. Tiny bioluminescent sparks shimmer briefly, not the bright flares of earlier hours, but faint, sleepy glows, like embers settling into ash. The deep creatures withdraw into slower rhythms, currents calm to a near hover. Even distant underwater echoes stretch farther apart, like conversation fading into silence. The whale does not command this stillness. It simply inhabits it. There is something profoundly peaceful about a creature so large contributing so gently to the world around it. The blue whale is not a disruptor of the night. It is a participant in its calm. Its quiet gift is its way of being. In a world that often seems drawn to noise, force, and constant motion, the whale offers another example: that scale does not require spectacle, that strength can move without disturbance, that presence can soothe rather than startle. Its body, enormous and ancient, moves without tension. Its breath, when it returns to the surface, is a slow release of warmth into cool air. Its dives are conversations with gravity and buoyancy, spoken in the language of stillness. Imagine for a moment, mirroring this quiet presence. Allow your shoulders to sink just a little. Let your breath stretch gently at the edges. Feel the heaviness of rest begin to settle into your limbs, not as fatigue, but as calm. As the whale drifts deeper, a gentle hum of the ocean's background life fades into a softer, more spacious silence. You may notice your thoughts loosening their grip, falling into the rhythm of long, slow motions. A memory surfaces, not of a story, but of a feeling that it is safe to be still, safe to rest, safe to drift without direction for a while. The whale continues downward until it becomes a soft blur in the darkness. Not gone, only settled deeper than the eye can follow. And here, in this dim layer of water, where pressure grows but fear does not, the whale rests, not asleep in the human sense, but quiet, suspended, allowing half its brain to drift into restorative calm, while the other half keeps gentle watch. Even its rest is peaceful. In this half-dreaming state, the whale embodies a truth the ocean has always held: that rest is not withdrawal. It is renewal. It is returning to the quiet place inside a world that never stops moving. As you drift with the whale now, you feel yourself descending into the same inner quiet, not empty, not lonely, but full of softness. The whale's quiet gift to the night is simply this: a reminder that you do not have to earn rest. You can sink into it. You can float within it. You can breathe your way all the way down to stillness. And as the ocean closes gently around you, you feel sleep drawing nearer, like the tide, like the deep, like the whale drifting into calm. The ocean has entered its quietest hour, that deep, velvety stretch of night when even the stars seem to blink more slowly, when the horizon dissolves into a single soft shade of blue-black, and when the world feels suspended, weightless, unhurried. The whale floats here with you, drifting just beneath the surface, not moving with purpose, not traveling, not feeding, only being. Its body rises slightly with each inhale, sinks gently with each exhale, mirroring the slow rhythm of your own breath. Up and down, up and down. If earlier parts of the journey were about understanding the whale's world, these final chapters are about entering its quiet. letting its calm seep into you the way cool water gradually envelops a hand placed beneath the surface. Tonight, the ocean carries no urgency, no currents tug with intention, no creatures dart across your path. Everything moves in elongated arcs, like dreams breathing underwater. The whale shifts to its side for a moment, the great curve of its back brushing a faint sheen of starlight. Its eye, small compared to its enormous form, closes halfway, not fully asleep, but resting, watching only through the soft haze of instinct. This is how whales sleep, half of their brain resting, half staying awake enough to breathe, to rise, to remain aware of the world they drift through, a kind of waking dream, a living meditation. You feel yourself entering a similar state, not fully gone, not fully alert, resting in the warm in-between. The water around you grows warmer near the surface, colder below. These layers wrap you in gentle gradients, each one loosening a different kind of tension. The muscles behind your shoulders, the quiet weight of thoughts, the subtle pressure behind your eyes. You sink a little deeper with the whale, feeling the coolness slide around you like a silk blanket. Your breath lengthens, your awareness softens. Far above, the sky shimmers faintly, but it no longer feels separate from the sea. Everything merges, light into dark, thought into quiet, ocean into sky. The whale exhales again, a long, slow sigh that sends ripples across the surface. The sound is gentle, almost parental, a reminder that even the largest beings in the world must let go of breath before they can take in new air. You let go with it, a breath leaving your chest quietly, thoughts dissolving with it, the edges of your mind softening into roundness. The whale descends slightly, just enough for its silhouette to blur into the surrounding water. Not disappearing, just blending. You feel the world narrowing into simplicity. Breath, drift, dark, calm. No stories to follow, no facts to hold, no images to maintain. Just the soft rhythm of a creature made for stillness and an ocean made for rest. Your body, too, begins to feel buoyed, less anchored by gravity, more suspended in this shared quiet. If sleep had a horizon, you are drifting along it now, not rushing toward it, not resisting it, just floating alongside the whale in the gentle curve of night. This is the edge of sleep, not a place to leap from, but a place to drift into, like sinking slowly into warm sand, like falling upward into clouds, like being held by water that remembers your shape. The whale inhales once more, a soft, slow, timeless sound, and you follow. There comes a point in drifting, whether through water or through thought, when the world grows dim, not because darkness has deepened, but because your own eyes have begun to rest. Shapes blur, edges soften. Light becomes a suggestion rather than a certainty. This is where the whale leads you now. Imagine lying back in the gentle cradle of the night ocean, your body supported effortlessly by the water. The whale drifts below, its movements slow enough to feel like the pulse of the sea itself. You sense its presence more than you see it, as though the ocean itself has taken on the rhythm of its breathing. Above you, the sky has faded into a subtle glow, no longer bright with stars, no longer fully dark, just a vast canvas of muted night. It resembles the space behind your eyelids when you are almost asleep, a soft, unhurried blur of shadow and color. The whale rises once more, nearing the surface. It exhales in a quiet plume that blends instantly with the cool air. Then it inhales deeply, the sound steady, grounding, ancient. As it drifts downward again, the world seems to dim with it. You close your eyes, or perhaps they close on their own, and the light behind them shifts like water. A slow ripple, a gentle fade, a quiet surrender. The whale's presence becomes a feeling rather than an image, a sense of closeness, of protection, of companionship without need for words. Around you, the ocean has grown impossibly still. Its surface barely trembles. Its depths cradle silence in wide, soft layers. Tiny specks of bioluminescence flicker like distant memories, brief, delicate sparks appearing at the edges of awareness, then fading before they form into thought. You drift deeper into yourself, your breath following the whale's rhythm. Long, slow inhales that widen your chest. Long, slow exhales that release everything you were holding. The whale does not hurry. It does not guide with force. It simply exists in a way that invites rest. Imagine its tail sweeping gently through the dark, each motion carving a slow spiral into the water. These spirals drift upward, carrying a sense of weightlessness with them, a reminder that even the largest burdens dissolve when carried by calm. As you float here, thoughts become softer, lighter, more distant. A worry passes by your mind like a faint cloud of plankton, recognized, acknowledged, but not held. A memory rises like a ripple on the surface, clear for a moment, then widening and fading into the surrounding quiet. A gentle warmth spreads through your limbs like sunlight touching shallow water, even though it is night. Your mind begins to mirror the whale's movement, gliding rather than climbing, drifting rather than searching, resting rather than bracing. Somewhere far beneath you, the whale hums a low, resonant note. It is not loud. It is not meant to be heard with your ears. It is felt, a vibration passing through bone and breath, a lullaby written in currents rather than words. That sound rests in your chest, loosening something deep inside you, inviting you to let go just a little more. The ocean around you grows darker still, but it is a comforting darkness, one that softens the world into peaceful, rounded shapes. You're no longer watching the whale. You're drifting with it, your awareness following the slow sweep of its flukes, your breath falling into harmony with its ancient cadence. The light behind your closed eyes fades into a warm, restful blur, like moonlight sinking beneath calm waves, like thought dissolving into quiet. You drift. The whale drifts. The world drifts with you, and sleep draws just a little nearer. The deeper the whale drifts, the softer the world becomes. Not darker, though light fades gently with each meter, but softer, as if every edge, every sound, every thought is wrapped in a quiet layer of water and eased into calm. Imagine sinking with the whale now, not quickly, not deliberately, but the way a sigh settles into stillness. The water grows cooler, cradling you in a steady, comforting pressure. It is like a soft hand at your back, guiding you gently downward, asking nothing of you but rest. The whale's silhouette becomes a dim, graceful shape ahead of you, a vast form moving with the slow certainty of something that has always belonged to the deep. It does not push, it does not struggle. It simply yields to gravity in the gentlest possible way, letting the ocean hold its weight. And the ocean holds you too. The sounds fade into a soft hum, a quiet vibrational field that feels less like noise and more like being inside a lullaby. You inhale. The breath feels spacious, warm. You exhale. Your body loosens as if sinking deeper into the mattress of the sea. Small particles drift around you, tiny flecks suspended in the blue, turning slowly in the faintest currents. They look like dust motes caught in a beam of evening light, each one floating with unhurried grace. As your mind watches them drift, your thoughts begin to drift the same way, light, slow, unanchored. Thoughts that once felt heavy now feel buoyant, as if the water has taken their weight for you. The whale hums again, a low, resonant sound felt more than heard. It vibrates through the water like the gentle strike of a deep bell, a sound that doesn't ask for attention but creates space around itself, clearing room for quiet. You feel the hum settle in your chest, loosening your breath, guiding your body into deeper rest. The deeper you drift, the warmer your inner world becomes. Night does not feel cold here. It feels like returning to something familiar, something vast enough to hold everything and soft enough to demand nothing. The whale begins a long glide, its body perfectly still except for the tiny adjustments made by muscles that have known this descent for 1,000 lifetimes. The glide is peaceful, endless, dreamlike. You glide with it. Your awareness drifts into a wide, slow-motion quiet. A quiet where even your heartbeat feels like part of the ocean. Thoughts flicker occasionally, small memories, soft images, half-formed feelings, but each one floats away again before it fully forms, like plankton turning in gentle spirals, like bubbles rising slowly toward a surface you no longer need to reach, like stars dimming into dawn behind closed eyes. Your breath grows shallow in the most comforting way, not strained, not tense, just light, soft, peacefully automatic. Somewhere above, the world still moves, wind brushing over waves, the slow spin of stars, but all of that feels distant now, far beyond the soothing blanket of water surrounding you. Here, in the softness of the deep, the boundary between waking and sleeping dissolves. You are no longer observing the whale. You are drifting with it, mirroring its ancient calm. Your awareness stretches thin, not disappearing, not fading too quickly, just thinning gently into quiet. Everything you need is here, the breath of the whale, the cradle of the sea, the slow descent that asks only for stillness. You drift deeper, the world grows softer, sleep hovers close like the next gentle rise of the tide. Somewhere in the quiet space between depth and dream, the whale drifts into a rhythm so gentle that the ocean itself seems to slow in response. This is not a place of waking, nor a place of sleeping, but the tender seam between them, a threshold where the world holds you softly, where the tide of consciousness rises and falls with each long breath you take. Imagine floating here with the whale, your body suspended in warm, velvety darkness. The water is calm, calm in a way that feels intentional, as though the sea has wrapped you inside its quietest chamber. Above, the surface is far away now, a thin, wavering memory of starlight. Below, the deep expands into infinite softness. The whale inhales, a slow, steady widening of its enormous chest. You inhale with it, your breath following its cadence as naturally as a tide follows the moon. The whale exhales, a long, soothing release that ripples through the water. You exhale with it, your body loosening in a way that feels almost like dissolving. With each shared breath, the boundary between your body and the sea grows thinner, softer, dreamlike. You are not falling asleep. You are drifting into it, guided by the ancient rhythm of the largest heart on earth. Around you, the ocean is nearly silent. Only the faintest of sounds remain. Tiny crackles from distant shifting sand, the soft thrum of water moving around the whale's barrel-shaped body, the muted echo of a current turning somewhere far below. These sounds do not wake you, they cradle you. Everything in this moment exists to support your rest. The whale dips slightly deeper, and the darkness grows warmer, more intimate. It feels like lying beneath a thick blanket that molds perfectly to your shape. Particles drift by your face, slow flecks of light and shadow, each one moving with the calmness of a thought almost forgotten. Your mind mirrors this movement. Thoughts slow to a gentle drift. They do not cling or push. They appear and disappear like bubbles rising from the seafloor, soft, round, harmless. A memory surfaces, a warm day, a familiar voice, sunlight on your hands. But it does not stay. It floats a moment, tilts, and glides away into darkness. The whale's hum vibrates faintly again, a sound so deep and low that you feel it more in your bones than in your ears. It is a lullaby of the deep, a reminder that in the ocean, nothing moves too quickly and everything finds its pace. Your breathing grows even slower. Each inhale arrives like a tide rising up a quiet beach. Each exhale sinks away like the same tide slipping gently back into the sea. Your muscles soften. Your jaw loosens. Your eyelids are heavy, warm, quiet. And your thoughts? They spread out like silt settling at the bottom of a calm bay. Even the idea of staying awake feels distant now, like something happening in another room, in another world. You are breathing with the whale, drifting with the tide of dreams, floating in the deepest quiet the ocean can offer. There is nothing to do, nothing to solve, nothing to hold, just drifting, just breathing, just resting. The whale turns gently in the dark, its movement slow as a soft dream unfolding, and sleep approaches, not as a wave, but as a gentle tide rising slowly around you. At last, the whale drifts into the quietest part of the night. The ocean around you is no longer a place to explore, but a cradle, soft, dark, patient, holding every movement with calm intention. The surface is far above, a thin memory of moonlight. The deep stretches below, a slow river of darkness. But neither distance matters now. You are suspended in the whale's world, wrapped in the same stillness that has carried this giant across oceans and seasons for millions of years. The whale rests in long, gentle glides. Its enormous body moves only when needed. A slow tilt here, a soft rise there, a drift that feels more like dreaming than motion. It inhales. A long, slow swell of its sides. You inhale with it. It exhales. A deep release into the water. You exhale. Your breath and the whale's breath become a single rhythm, ancient, steady, unhurried. A rhythm older than mountains, older than stars in the night sky, older than the dreams now forming softly behind your eyelids. Tiny sparks of bioluminescence flicker in the distance. Not bright, not insistent, just soft echoes of motion. They spiral upward and fade, like thoughts dissolving into sleep. Nothing in this moment asks for effort. Nothing asks for attention. The world grows beautifully simple. A pulse of current moves past, barely a touch against your skin, as if the ocean itself is whispering a final lullaby. The whale adjusts its course, following the quiet signal without hesitation, trusting the water's guidance the way you now trust your own breath. Up, down, drift, rest. Every part of the ocean is settling. Every living thing sinks into its own kind of quiet. Even the distant sounds, the soft tapping of shifting sand, the faint echo of a faraway school of fish, grow thin, transparent, weightless. Your thoughts become even lighter, floating upward like tiny bubbles before fading into the darkness above. No worry remains attached to you. No memory tugs at your mind. No expectation shapes your breath. This moment belongs only to calm. You feel the whale turning slightly, its great body angling into a deeper, slower glide. This is how it truly sleeps, half the mind resting, half keeping watch, the whole being surrendering to the sea in quiet partnership. And you, drifting beside it, find yourself entering the same state, not fully awake, not fully gone, but gently dissolving into the rhythm of water and breath. The ocean becomes a blanket of warmth. The deep becomes a soft pillow beneath you. The whale becomes a steady, ancient lullaby. Your breath becomes the tide. Nothing more is needed. The journey through wild nature has carried you to this final stillness. The great mystery of the blue whale, its calm, its trust, its slow endurance, has unfolded into a feeling rather than a thought, a feeling of being held, a feeling of drifting safely, a feeling of belonging to something larger, softer, older. And as the whale sinks deeper into its long, quiet descent, you follow, not downward, but inward, toward rest, toward ease, toward sleep. There is only one thing left to do. Let go. Let yourself drift. Let the last edges of wakefulness melt into the dark. Let the ocean of your mind settle completely. Because here, in the quiet wild, everything is already flowing where it needs to go. Everything is at rest. Everything is enough. And now, as this journey fades into stillness, sleepy nature sleep leaves you with its final gentle words. Everything flows through the wild. Sleep in that motion.